Well, we're got an exciting game right in front of us. I was actually just playing against Tiffany there in the warm-up, and she shoots straight, really straight. Makes me look like I can't shoot straight sometimes. But she's throwing a really sticky bag, and she was saying that these boards are still too fast for her, and they were playing really slow. So.
Well, Corey, you've been able to throw on some of the boards too. So we don't have a lot of people in the building yet. I know we're going to have a lot come 1 o'clock when the swap happens. But we've been in this building now twice for Open last year and the conference, our first conference this year, the Central Conference. These boards really change throughout the day here.
Yeah, they're going to change drastically. I know the building as a whole have a lot of people in here. If you actually come to this building, there's 3 different separate sections, and both the other sections are full as well here. I know I played here when the entire building was empty and it was just us here. Boards played like lightning, but I've also played here where the building was full on all 3 sections and the boards drastically changed. So it's going to be kind of a battle of wits here, who can make the adjustments as we kind of go, and see how the weekend progresses in terms of the board changes.
Now we're looking at quite a bit still in the ladies bracket. We actually got the bracket open here. Okay, sweet. Let's see what we got here. I'm taking a peek. So we're kind of shaping into our tier here. No Canadians are kind of sitting in this yet. We got Yeti, Tiffany, Isabel, Miranda. So it's basically all the pros. The pro ladies are still in it.
I know
all
we
the
did.
Canadians are
I
kind
did
of down
see,
here.
yeah, in the I know Tracy DeCoste looking there. She's down 13-11
Lynn,
to Ashley Brown. Alyn is still in it.
Lana's in it. Dawn's in it. Lisa's in it.
Alicia McLean's there.
Carrie, Michelle, Crystal. Okay, so we still got quite a bit of Canadian ladies. The ones that we kind of would see deep in a bracket, they're still kicking around, so that's awesome to see.
And the one I know she's probably watching at home or at school that we wish was here would be Megan St. Thomas, who's won.
She'll send me a text here in 2 seconds. Yeah, no, we miss you, Megan, if you're watching. It's too bad you're not here, but I'm sure we'd be seeing you in this going nice and deep, but oh well. School's more important than beanbags anyways. So I think the girls are going live.
They're starting from this end here.
All right, let's see, they're starting on the right side.
It's like Yeti with first bag.
Nice. Now, I'm expecting 23 rounds of straight sliding in here.
And as you said that, Yeti puts one off to the side. Now, I believe Yeti did take down the blind draw that she was at over in Buffalo last night.
Nice.
And then her partner for doubles, Danny Seals, took down the blind draw on the Canadian side.
Oh, he went to Garden City?
He was in Garden City last night, yep.
Nice. For Danny Seals.
I thought I was going to stop in last night for about half an hour just to talk to some people and then come and hang out with you, Connor, in Niagara. But I spent a couple hours in Thorold.
Oh, you didn't want to hang out with me.
It was a long night for us playing Cornwall and Garden City, and it was a long night for Connor hanging out at TGIFs.
All of a sudden, Tornado shows up, and I'm like, oh, God.
Well, I know in talking with Lori Dool this morning here, because she, as I got off the elevator at the hotel, she was waiting for Miranda and Sam, and they got back from Buffalo at 2 a.m.
Yeah, that's wild. That was wild. I was talking to them when they were coming, and yeah, they said it was a long night, but they said it was fun. Coliseum's a good spot. Little neighbor to the Canadians in Buffalo. But nice push.
And as Lori said, that this is a great time for her because she gets to play in front of friends and family.
Yep. Well, yeah, she's originally from Buffalo, so this is kind of like a home court for her. Nothing really different. She's kind of used to the weather here. Except for this morning, they didn't seem to be too adjusted to it. They're wearing their big puffer jackets.
Yeah.
And freezing.
It's a rainy day here in Niagara Falls.
We got the water coming off the fall, then we got rain coming out.
Yeti goes up in behind Tiffany's bag there. Tiffany, nice shot by
I
Tiffany.
don't even understand how she does that. That's crazy. Corey,
got
strike one on you. He's not doing the transitions.
Slow here in the transitions.
I set it up as the arrow keys as well, so it's 4 and 6. But there you go. We got an 8 on 6.
On 6,
Tiffany
yeah.
on
2 more
2.
for.
She's throwing like the stickiest bag to the mercenaries. Oh my goodness. I was playing against her and she like did a cut around and I was like, oh my god. There's Danny Seals just smiling at us.
Is that right?
The guy
Oh,
here
you got it
says-
wrong.
Oh, no, I got it wrong. That was me on that one.
This is why we don't let Doug touch the buttons.
Nope, that's why I just talk.
Live stream. There you go. Take a selfie with the guys. Put that on there. We're putting that
Tiffany
on
goes
Facebook.
in.
Connor's cornhole corner. There you go. We are live.
And if you're here and watching, or just watching and going to be coming later on, watch for the Down and Back Facebook page, Down and Back Cornhole Podcast Facebook page. Take a selfie with me later on, post it on the post that I'll be making for a chance to win a set of local bags.
What? That sounds awesome. What are you giving away? What are you giving away?
Might give away a set of regulators today.
Regulators. So those are very similar to the mercenaries that Tiffany is throwing. Same slow side, same kind of fill, thicker bag, but it has a quicker fast side on it. Regulators are actually one of the first local bags that I kind of threw in a tournament. It reminded me a lot of my Wizards. Very similar to the Wizards, different slow side, but they're really good. Kevin, if you ever see Kevin, he's probably going to be the tallest guy in here this weekend. He's actually across from us. So he throws the regulators quite religiously. Really good bag, solid bag all around. You can cut, you can slide, you can push them for sure, but they're big bricks. So others can't really push them unless you got that fast side. So
Tiffany still first bag. She's up 6-2 here on Yeti.
Her first bag execution so far has been unbelievable. Putting a lot of pressure on Yeti to make her first bag as well.
Well, there, and Yeti puts up the block, and that
gonna leave it.
forces Tiffany to go off the back.
Yeti's going to leave it there because Tiffany's still got 2 more shots here, and Yeti's going to try and go.
Cut again. There you go. Right behind it. That's a perfect play.
Now does Yeti go up and over top of that nail?
She's going to try
Oh,
and
she's
launch
gonna
that bag.
definitely try to play. No, she's got slow side out. I'm seeing an airmail.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Tiffany right behind.
Oh! That kind of like one of my airmails.
Now this is where Yeti decides: is she gonna push it or is she gonna try to airmail it still and try to get points, or do you board it and play it safe? There it is.
What's that?
Yeah. You take your 8 on 5. You walk away.
And she gets an appreciative nod
Yeah.
from Danny Seals across the other side.
Yeah. Hello from Quebec. Hey, Stefan. Megan's loving it. I see you, Megan. She's rooting in it. We got some more people coming in, saying that we're live. If you guys are in here, make sure you guys say hello. We're watching the chat, so we can see you.
Well, we're hoping we'll get some of the players in Quebec on the teams event here tonight.
There's actually a Quebec team. There is a team. Carl Menard is here. Good old Carl. Carl's a great shooter from Quebec. There's Brenda. Oh, Tiffany. She's a direct airmail, bounced off. Just unlucky off to the side for Yeti, but it still makes it tough here for Tiffany to get points. They're making a wash and almost snuck around it. Wow. Ow, wow, wow. Let's take another peek at the old bracket here. Let's see what's happening. Addie McBride still hasn't played her game. I think that's going to get queued up next over here against Suzanne. Isabella's up 8-2 on Miranda right now.
Is that Susan Sullivan?
Yeah,
Yep.
Susan Sullivan. She's a New York director, I believe.
I remember meeting her. She was at Worlds last year.
Yeah, we were talking to Suzanne the whole time. She's a really nice lady. I think she's considered the mom of cornhole, if I'm not wrong there. But. So Sam Finley is tied with Nicole Pratt 10-10 right now. Dawn is up right now on Lisa. So the winner of that game plays against Lana, who just lost to Miranda Coy. Tracy's out, which is not a shame. Ashley Brown. But Tracy shot a 6.38, so that's good. He played 13 rounds. That's tough.
That's that. I need that.
For what?
So it's Warzone, senior, juniors.
Oh, okay. What else we got in here?
Yeti, first bag, just off to the side.
Wow.
Tiffany's in. And even if you haven't signed up for anything, you show up here, there is sit and goes that you can join into.
Yeah, Lori Dole's up. Crystal's up on the
Tiffany
show.
just could have had points on Yeti.
How's the juniors looking right now?
Is that going?
Wow, Gage got 25 0'd. That's crazy.
It's a 10 on 8. Yeti's up now 9-6.
Look at this juniors game right now. 9 rounds. Gage is shooting a 10-11, and the other kid is shooting a 10-8.
Is Nakota Jackson. Now I heard it was either him or his brother that were just insane last night in Buffalo.
Oh my gosh. Well, then there's this other guy, Caden. He shot an 11 on Gage's 7.43.
Yeah.
That's just insane. Wow.
Makes me kind of feel glad that I have kind of semi-retired from playing any kind of competitive stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't make me feel glad. I gotta play against them. That's the kind of stuff that you play against.
Oh, clean hair mill.
Jay Dotson is still in. Mike Footy was making a bit of a run there. And Jay Dotson gonna put him on an end. Scotty Burns beat Steve James 21-2. So it's Scotty Burns against Jay Dotson in the seniors bracket. So it's nice to see we still got a Canadian fighting in the seniors. On the other side of it, doesn't look like there's any Canadians. Albert Parsons just got knocked down to the losers bracket by Jeffrey Gearhart. I don't see any other Canadians kind of in there. But we got Steve. Steve James is still kicking it.
Randy Jackson.
Randy. Albert's in it. Steve Hensby's still in it.
Steve Hensby, better known as the driver of Bernie the Hat Portalessi.
Yeah. Who's actually, he texted me saying, I'm at home right now eating breakfast. He said I'll be out soon, so.
This is a home game for him.
Yeah, exactly. He's at home eating breakfast. I'm
Out
eating
here now.
breakfast with my dog.
Yeti has to go in with this one. Oh. So right now it's a 5-5. It's an 8 on 5. Yeah, Bernie, looking at Bernie's actually watching here right now.
Of course he is. What's up, Bernie? All right. Taking a little peek back at the women's bracket. 14-9 for Yeti.
Pressure that she puts on with her first bag on Yeti has really been the deciding factor when she's had lead bag. So now that she's got lead bag back.
Well, I think this is, I find that Yeti's kind of working too hard here. She's trying to put up blocks and pushes in. I feel like this is the game that Yeti could probably slide.
Nice shot by Tiffany.
But Tiffany is just on a heater with slides too, so it's kind of, it's tough. This is hard. Go up and you give up 4, she's going for a timeout. Do we have it both cameras seen? Nope. Not yet.
You are playing with the computer.
That's Connor.
Don't touch the buttons.
I touchy. Well, you got this weird transition thing going on. I can't see what's going on.
This is the one that goes into this one.
It's too complex for me.
We'll work on counting it next round.
Oh, nice
clean
shot
air
by
mail.
Yeti.
Clean air mail.
4. Kind of following along with this game, it's kind of been the battle of who's had lead bag, and you really got to fight to get it back here in this game. And when you've had lead bag, you've been able to score points.
That's really what it is. Look at that, another one, perfect block, but it's gonna go in. So if you're Yeti, you're either laying up right behind or you're pushing it in.
Yeah. And she pushes it.
I don't know how much you want to make Tiffany work. Like, she isn't missing really.
Ooh.
Just off to the side for Yeti. Tiffany's gonna take her too. And
Oh, and she gives
to
it
the
right
side,
back.
too.
She's still going to play for a wash here, and she'll be all right and get to play the game.
Does she go for the N1? N1, N1.
Oh.
Gives up the 2. I think the N1 would have been the better shot.
Lead change now, 15-14 for Tiffany.
We want some action.
No, I believe in the doubles for tomorrow. I think Tiffany gave up her spot with Jamie to Ryan Smith to be up here.
Oh, yeah? I forgot Ryan Smith is coming up. Interesting. That's one pro that I've never spoke to at all. Is Ryan Smith.
He was one of probably the second one I've met after Timothy Pitcher, because I know everyone who's watching the show knows that I may have met Timothy Pitcher at one point. I talk about it too much, but got to play against Ryan Smith in a blind draw.
Beauty.
Wow.
Nice shot.
Nice shot. Good grab.
And
And that's 4.
and looking back at the
That's
in
19,
the
14.
in the ACL app for that, the team I threw against was, I believe, Ryan Smith and Jeremy Schemerhort.
Tough day at the office for you, dog.
Oh yeah, but actually, I may have said some fake news. I said it was 21-0, but it was actually 21-18. I believe.
I'm sorry. Gotta do it so we can see. There we go. So right now, it's kind of a last hope for Yeti. She's gotta be perfect for this whole time out. She can afford one. This has potential if she's in right here. Yeti's gotta drag it. Yeti has to drag it.
Has to drag it.
Drag it!
Oh!
No way! You gotta move the pegs underneath. What's gonna happen?
Oh, now we need a sweep here.
We need a sweep. Oh. Wow.
Great game there.
Wow. She almost dragged that too. That was wild.
It's one of those ones that even with the sweep, if the bags weren't there, then maybe it does go, but it loses momentum on sitting on the top there.
That's exactly it. Now, I don't know what the official rule is. If you see them like that, are you allowed to sweep it before you shoot that shot?
I think you can ask for it.
I'm jumping up and throwing some bags.
All right, we will be right back with our next game.
There we go. Now it's on. Now, back here with our next game. Susan Sullivan against Maddie McBride. Now, Maddie McBride, as I talked about on the ACL Live, is that she's going to be Sam Finley's partner in doubles. And last year, Sam Finley brought an unknown to some of us up here in Chris Kingsbury as her partner. So yes. Will Maddie be getting becoming the next Chris Kingsbury and kind of blowing up after being at the Canadian Open?
Well, Maddie McBride is like, so she plays ACO and ACL, and she's just a really solid player. Like, anytime that you watch Maddie McBride, I remember we were at Worlds, actually. It was Maddie McBride and, what's his name? Cameron's, I forget his last name. But they were together in the co-ed, and they had to play against Jamie Graham and Kaylee Hunter. And they had to get double dip to win, or to lose. So they ended up winning that in co-ed as a team. So it just goes to show she's not actually a pro, but she is more than capable of taking out every single pro.
Gotta say hello to Mr. BG, Rich Chamness, watching.
Rich is in here. There we go.
He's kind of cheering for Maddie on this one.
Seems a little biased. Oh, jump, Susan, jump.
So I'm going to back out here. I need to get something to drink here, but you two guys, capable hands of taking over here.
Think so?
I hope so.
All right, Dougie, go get it.
I will be back.
Canadians.
I will be back later on. I think you had too many of those last night.
No way.
So
possible.
I'll be back later.
See you later, Doug.
All right, sick. What's going on, Corey?
Not too much.
Welcome to the Connor and Corey podcast.
Feels like we've done this before.
It's almost like we were here last time at this kind of same situation. We got Suzanne and Maddie McBride, though. It's a little different.
A couple Americans here.
Yeah, we got Americans, but you know what? It's good. So what's your take on the Open so far? Day one, we're about 3 hours in. We've seen a lot of faces that you see on TV and the internet.
Yeah, there's a lot of names here, and so it's continued growth. I think that we had a few come last year, a few more come this year. It just kind of helps us continue to grow. I know last night we went out and threw a Garden City. Danny Seals was there just helping a lot of people, and it was really nice to see. I had a great chat with Danny sitting at the table, and he's just like, I just love seeing the game grow. And so it was great to see him out. There was some newer players there that were really latching onto him. Hey, can you help me with this? Oh, I'm really struggling with that. And Danny was the first.
And that's awesome. And Danny still really, that was almost 4-bag drag. So Danny Seals is actually one of the pros that always does the international online kind of tournaments.
Virtual tournaments.
Yeah, the virtual tournaments. So he's always involved in them. And he's the first guy to comment on everyone's post. Great throwing, you know. He'll be in your DMs messaging you and saying, keep it up. Like, he's he's super motivated to help everyone. He's a great face. He's definitely won the hearts of a lot of Canadians.
Absolutely. I know that there's Canadians speak extremely highly of him that have gone down to the States and met Danny. I know people tell stories of getting to throw in Danny's shed. Kind of a famous place up here in Canada. When he throws his virtual tournaments, everybody's kind of in awe of what Danny has in his shed there. Multiple boards, a big space to practice. When we're up here trying to battle for space, for places to play, places to practice, and Danny just has that. And I know a couple Canadians have actually got to go down to Danny's house and stay at his place for the weekend and get to play and learn from Danny, playing with him all weekend. So,
Danny is great guy. So, funny story. So we were in Kentucky. Went out there, I saw Danny Seals, and so Danny Seals was actually partnered up with one of my local members, Steve James. And I told Danny, I'm like, Steve plays at my league. I gotta take a picture with him. Danny's like, hold up. I gotta run to my Zuka. So he runs over to his Zuka, and he comes back with these 2 cartridges. And I'm like, what are these? And he's like, I made trading cards with my face on it. So it's got all his stats and his analytics on it from last year. Just some fun facts about him and 2 trading cards of Danny Seals. I'm like, that is so funny. He's like, well, it's fun. You know, everyone can have something, and you know, especially if you're traveling, a picture doesn't go as far as like giving them something small, and you can't give everyone bags.
Right.
So, just unique. Tries to get everyone in on it. Oh, Suzanne. She's down a little bit right now.
She just got 2 points in the lead bag back, so hopefully that might make a difference for her here. Maddie put a lot of pressure on her, and Susan just kind of missed left and right a couple times, and Maddie didn't miss the opportunity. So if Susan can get rolling here, then I think that we can kind of get ourselves and find ourselves back in a situation where we can.
Well, you were saying last year we were actually at Worlds, and you ended up playing against Susan in intermediate
Singles, and we had a great game. I've a recognizable face as soon as they came in the building. I remembered Susan from that experience, and so the first thing I said to her is, it's great to see that you continue to grow and be here this deep into a bracket in a tough field. There's multiple women's pros here, and she's deep in battle with that. So that's a great testament to the work that Susan's putting in. I know she's a director. She plays all the time. She's constantly kind of growing the sport. So she's wearing multiple hats, but still being able to kind of develop as a player, which is, as you and I both know as kind of directors up here in Canada, that's not easy to find the time to be running events and developing your own game. And
it's not easy at all. Well, and like you said, she runs a lot. She helps with Girls Throw too as well.
She does, yeah.
I think she actually does run the majority of it.
She's one of the names I think I see.
She's one of the big faces that you see. Like if you do Girls Throw 2, you know Suzanne. Pretty sure most of the cornhole community knows Suzanne. So I'm just kind of looking at the bracket here. Lana's still kicking it. She's got a lead. I think her, Alin. So Alin's going to be playing against Alicia. So that's really it for the Canadians. We got Alin and Alana. So hopefully they can
keep Alicia.
Going. Oh, and Alicia, yes. Oh, we got the other side of the bracket. We got Crystal still in it. She's down right now 6-0 on Lori. And that's really it for the Canadians. So we got 4 Canadians still in it.
Great job.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're not very good on this camera action here. Sorry, guys. It's not as set up as the conference. We don't have the same background. It's kind of just plopped on us. I got to fix that back camera. That back camera's... Oh! Clean air mail didn't drag anything. Matty McBride was trying to get the drag and couldn't get much. So Canada right now, we don't have like the same kind of layout as you see Wally has. They're a little more situated than we are. We just got tripods and little cameras, so we'll eventually grow. We're just not at that point yet.
I know Doug was talking prior to going on, kind of some of his plans to get the scaffolding and a bunch of different things to really help move the production of what we're able to put out there for a live stream. So we'll head in that direction now that we're having bigger events. I know Doug's going to be going around, attending some of the regionals, setting up, kind of starting to display some Canada cornhole, because I think that'll go a long way in terms of helping some of our players generate sponsorship and some of our events generate sponsorship.
Exactly.
Kind of getting those kind of things out there. I know a lot of people are trying to do it simply while they're doing the events, but it'll definitely help.
Nice shot by Susan. Stand in it.
Definitely help Canada cornhole kind of generate some momentum. You gotta probably turn it towards Maddie a bit. Yeah, there you go. You're good.
There.
That's better.
Just want to get a little bit closer. That looks a little better. I'll eventually get to the other side and kind of adjust it, but...
I guess I better bring up the comments if people are talking to us and I know...
Oh, yeah, I don't even actually really know. ACL Canada's page. Oh, Susan almost pulls that back. She's going to get it this last bag. Maddie pulls it in. Here's a chance for 2. Can she do it? She does. Back in the game. Oh, talking about that sandwich is making me hungry. Look at those. Those look nice. I wonder what I'm getting. I got 14 sets of bags coming up, so from the States this weekend. Local Terminators. Lots of them.
Lots?
It's very Very similar to the Viper R.
I know. I ordered a couple sets for me to have and see kind of how they feel. I know I've thrown some Viper Rs. A lot of people down in my area like the Viper R, so I thought I'd bring some down in and see.
It's a more affordable Viper R.
Absolutely.
Now, I can't judge it. I've never felt one yet, but so Local Bags being my sponsor, I'm being a sellout here. But if you guys want some quality bags for a good price, Local Bags.
Maddie's just kind of chewing Susan to death here with the lead bag. Susan's trying to generate a little pressure, and she misses one bag, and Maddie puts up a 12, and there's Doug. Doug's going to follow us. He doesn't actually trust us here. Doug left the table, but he's following us on the live stream here, so he's definitely...
I see him loitering around. He's kind of spectating. I like him. You got to interact. You got to interact with the people. He's kind of our social media guy, like you said. You know, he's got to go out. He's got to get some content. He's got to find out he's our... What's it called when you have like the anchorman, and then what's the one out in the storm? They're there in the middle of the hurricane, and the stop sign comes flying out. That's Doug. He's out there.
Oh my!
Those are
is
jams.
bumps.
That is jam. Oh! Didn't fall. I'm gonna go adjust that camera. You go tell me. I'll let her over that. Just some fine tuning.
So Maddie missed her first bag and gave Susan an opportunity to kind of get back in, but
I love it. It looks like Maddie could probably roll back every single one of these. Like just looking at how it comes out of her hand, it's backloaded. Oh, give it back. Chance for a wash.
Oh, she tapped it in. That was a 7 on 5.
7 on 5. What is that? Well, that's good. 18-7. I want to see Suzanne pull a big point. I love it. Look at that backload coming out of the hand. Wish you could see it. And that's off the back. 4-bagger will win it right here for Maddie. She's trying to roll it. Perfect back blocker by Susan.
Well, Susan can collect here then.
Can. Got it right here. Oh. Nice roll back. I'm seeing it right now. Oh, airmail drag. And she gets 2.
Stays alive.
Stays alive. She's staying alive. She's staying alive. I was gonna say to Miranda, I'm like, don't you just love driving or flying with your friend just to have to play your friend?
When you get this deep in the bracket, though, it gets hard to avoid.
Yeah, that's true. That's exactly what it is. Now we're at the kind of the point where it's like, if you do play your friends, it's all gonna happen. Susan taking an opportunity here. See a 4-bagger. She's up to the side. She must be hungry like I am.
Oh, she's gonna have an opportunity.
Opportunity for 2.
And no.
She got it. Wow. Cat bags. That was good. She's back in the game. You know, 20 is the hardest point to score on. Like, to get 1 point when you're on 20, oh my gosh. It's actually the most difficult. I feel like when we were in Worlds, we were at 20, and I feel like we struggled really hard to get that 1 point. We played against each other, or we played against people.
Well, it kind of gives those other players that do-or-die attitude, right? Like, they can't miss at that point in time, and
Exactly.
when you kind of play fearless, sometimes it just works out for you, and that's going to slink back in.
Cat bags. That's another brand that's like all over Canada now. A Lynn still isn't a.
Oh, it's still moving. That might sink back in. That might be a Rich Chamness special right here.
Oh, here it goes. Floop. That's game. What is in those bags, Rich? You gotta fess up here. What's in those? Oh, we only got 95 viewers in here, Corey.
That's more than the last time we ran the stream, so we must be doing something right this weekend.
Yeah, we have it on the right broadcast court. Okay, set it up so it's like left side view, right side view for the Be Right Back. Let's see what we can do here.
Well, don't mess with my Be Right Back.
Do I make a new one? Oh, mic's still on. Sorry, guys. We're figuring this out.
We are back here. So they've actually transitioned the feature core here to a seniors game by the looks of it. Two gentlemen not familiar to me, so my guess is both American.
So Jay Dodson, this is the King C match. So Jay Dodson plays out of Ohio. I actually got to play against Jay Dodson and Gabe Dolan. So they're partners for the for pro partners, and they're actually going to be here this weekend. So Jay Dodson is, I want to say it's his 5th year as a pro, 6th year, 7th year. He's been a pro since the Dogs came home. So well-known face. You might have seen him in a couple broadcasts, but just a really nice guy. So he's right out of Ohio. He's a guy that'll go bag for bag for you and slide it in. When I played against Jay, I think we did like 23 rounds. Like you're been for a long game. And I don't really know anything about Tony. I don't know anything about Tony. But he's throwing a Viper R. It's the slinkiest bag. That's one bag I can't stand. The Viper R. I can't win against them. Ever. They're just so slinky. Tries to go airmail. Oh my god.
They're just in the down and back by the looks of it.
Oh, okay.
Scoreboard's not active, so
Okay.
unless he feels like he's going to need the airmail to beat Jay Dotson here.
Yeah, you do. Because Jay Dotson doesn't miss airmails. Jay Dotson doesn't miss. Look at Kevin sticking a stick right over there. Kevin, I want a sandwich. All right, we're about to go live. I want to get this camera a little bit closer, but
The back one?
well, both. I want to be able to get like the right overhead. I wish that we had the same kind of setup. Matt didn't have it.
We'll get there.
Yeah, I feel like we could set those cameras up higher, but there isn't much extension there. So we'll see. But
I'm still not sure if we are live here, but it kind of looks like they're going bag for bag. So my guess is that we are live here.
I'm pretty sure they spun. Oh, chance for 2 for Tony. He does it.
They are live here, so that's a 12 on 10 start. So
Yeah, I don't really know much about Tony. I don't know anything really about Tony, but I do know that. So Noble's been treating Jay really well. So Noble's a really small bag. I know you're kind of a bag enthusiast.
never heard of them.
Noble is like, it's one of those new brands. They got 4 bags. They got 4.7, the Jinx, which is 6.9. And then they got a couple others. So Maya Cup and Donald Cup also throw Noble bags.
Now that you say that, I do
Great block.
recognize that. So I do see those two individuals. I can often be found myself playing down in Detroit on Friday nights at Great Shots, and those two are often there playing in the local blind draw. So I do see them there throwing their Noble bags sometimes.
Yep. So Donald Cup throws Jinx, and so does Maya. So that's very similar to what Jay is throwing. So it's like a pro sniper build. Very similar, just the smallest possible template. All the Noble bags are so small. Sorry guys, we're not very good on this old camera switching thing. Feel bad. We're gonna kind of tune into the ladies. Lynn's up on Alicia McLean right now, 12-0. That's the hometown girl right there for us. Well, for me. The other side, we got Lori up on Miranda.
Great shot. So he was kind of tucked there on a corner, but with those Viper R's, he was able to pull both bags and leave Jay's bag there in front of the hole. But Jay has an opportunity for a push for 2 points.
There it is. It's back in the game. I thought those Viper R's are going to slink right around.
So So for those of you following along that aren't familiar with the voices here on the commentary, I am Corey Ewart from Forge Oak Cornhole, commentating today with Connor Weiss, ACL Pro up here in Canada. Also director with Lanark County Cornhole.
Yeah, we got the directors up here. We got so we're actually at complete opposite ends of Canada. So if you want to meet in the middle, this is we don't actually never get to play against each other. We're so far away from each other, but we get to come out. We get to commentate. These events are huge. These are the time that we get to play and have some fun. But if you guys want to come out and you're in the Ottawa area, come on out to Lanark County Cornhole. We play in Perth and Stittsville. Or if you're close to Detroit, St. Thomas. Well,
yeah,
if you're close to Detroit, Michigan.
So I'm kind of 50% of the way between Detroit and Buffalo. So kind of perfectly situated there. I can go either way into the States, which is kind of nice. Lots of opportunities. I know Connor has to rack up the travel costs sometimes in terms of being able to get into the States to be able to play. But for where I am, I can typically get into the States and find good quality cornhole, sometimes even within an hour. So which is kind of nice.
Or like 2. Yeah. No, you guys got lucky. You guys got great shots right there. You got the Coliseum the other direction, and you got 2 serious clubs that have some top-notch cornhole on either side.
We have Darren Bradley joining us from Regina, Saskatchewan. So hello, Darren, from here in Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Just tune it in. Look at Doug over there just watching us.
Sipping orange juice and talking with pros.
Must be hard, eh, being the social media guy?
He just hires 2 competent guys to run his stream, and he looks like a hero around here.
Yeah, exactly. I set this up. I can just sit back and relax. We need to bring someone out and interview. Female player or seniors. So I was actually talking to Ryan there, little junior player. I ended up giving him a set of Cougars. I gave him those Cougars.
Nice.
So, see how he does. He's a good shot. He said he's only been playing about 6 months, and like, wow. He's got a smooth throw, flat bag.
And not even regularly. So actually, Ryan started with us actually playing with his family in some of our social events, and then kind of transitioned. He hasn't even started playing in leagues or anything like that. He's kind of a multi-sport athlete, and so hasn't had the opportunity to really dive into it yet, but played in his first Open today. Wow. I think he got a win. So that's a big moment for him. It's kind of just walking into this building. And I know I had the conversation with multiple people that are here today that are at their first Open. Having gone down to the Worlds, this Open kind of seems a little bit small when you walk into Worlds for the first time.
Yeah.
Your eyes kind of get opened quite drastically. But for some of the people here at the Open for the first time and really haven't traveled for cornhole, walking in here and seeing 40-something boards in a big room, chairs everywhere, there's pros wearing their pro jerseys, it can be a little intimidating, especially if you're a young kid that really hasn't had kind of some of those experiences. And so kind of talking and guiding some of our club members through this kind of experience that they're going to have here for the weekend, and kind of trying to learn from some of the things that you and I have been able to experience over the last year is kind of part of the growth of the game here. And I know we're both big proponents of making the game grow, and so giving these opportunities to more and more people is only going to help us up here with cornhole here in Canada.
Exactly. And, you know, I really don't think that we're far behind anymore. There was a good chunk of time where Canadians were really far behind, and we're starting to come back. Like, just kind of, let's look at the seniors here. I know we still got a couple of men from Canada in this bracket. Now, of course, they're not in the king seat, but they're still in it. So just kind of looking at it, we got Scotty Burns. He's still in it with Albert Parsons right now. They're playing on court 20. So that's huge.
So that's a Canadian pro. And again,
Albert Parsons.
A PDC pro here up in Canada. He's from Newfoundland. So hopefully we have an opportunity to see him kind of work his way back up through the losers bracket here and find his way back into something on the broadcast, because I think that would be really big for Canada Cornhole. I know I've actually lived out in Newfoundland, so hopefully the Newfoundlanders will come on to be able to check that out and see if we are able to get him here a broadcast game. So that would be a huge step for cornhole here in Canada, and especially for cornhole out in Newfoundland, because I know he's very well respected. I follow Cornhole Newfoundland on Facebook, and I see that man almost playing every night, winning some of the amount of events that their directors run out there, and to see Albert at almost every one of them is definitely a huge testament to what their directors are doing out there for ACL, and also for Albert himself and growing the game out there. So.
Oh, they're doing a phenomenal job. I think they have like 8 or 9 league nights, like, out there, and I'm pretty sure it's ran by 2 people. Like, they're in so many different locations. I'm gonna try to wave Dion over here. He's sitting over there. Mr. Kuza.
Go run over there and grab him.
I will.
So we are at 14-5 here for Jay. He's just kind of picking away. I know we had a clogged hole there on the last round, so Tony couldn't actually get any points out of a miss for Jay, but
Hold on. Dion says, hold on, I gotta go tell everyone I'm going on the broadcast.
so he's going to rattle up our Newfoundland crowd, because I'm sure everybody's going to... We might have to get a translator in here, because I know I spent some time out on the rock, but Dion definitely comes from around the bay. So in Newfoundland, there's what they call townies and from around the bay, and the further you get away from what you would be called a townie, the stronger the accent. So I will give our viewers a little bit of a heads up here that Dion's going to have a thick Newfoundland accent, but definitely a fun guy to talk to, and very, very knowledgeable, and another person out there that's really helping grow the game, and one of our ACL PDC player pros.
Yep.
So definitely a name to watch. I know they talked about him at on a broadcast that Trey Ryder did this week, highlighting the PPR that he's had over regionals and above. So definitely a shooter. He played out last night at Garden City, and definitely didn't disappoint with his PPR on the night either. So
Dion Kuza actually has the highest PPR in Canada. Average.
Yep.
He's the highest shooter in Canada. So here he comes. I would say Dion. Mr. Kuza.
How are you?
There he is, the octane thrower himself. Awesome. How's it going, Dion?
Not too bad.
So you've been watching Albert play over there?
Albert's hanging in there.
He's doing good.
He is.
Taking a look at this bracket. He's playing against Scott Burns from Canada. So they're the last 2 Canadians in here.
Nice.
So it sucks that we have to watch them play each other. But
Yeah, no, definitely. No, hopefully he can pull it off.
So how was your flight?
The flight was excellent.
Yeah?
Last night was a bit tiring. We, by the time we got back after the Garden City cornhole, we were about an hour away from being up 24 hours then, so we kind of crashed.
Yeah, I believe it. So what's your expectations? You're here again. It's the Open. You did the best in singles last year out of all the Canadians, getting yourself the pro card. What's your goal kind of for this year?
Ultimately, what I tell people is to come here and meet people and, build that friendship and play the best you can and let the rest take care of itself type thing. And, like I told people last year is that the brackets have the line up. You have sometimes there's upsets that happens elsewhere that works in your favor. So it's just take it one game at a time and see what happens.
Now, what are you throwing right now? What's your go-to?
Right now, I'm throwing the Apex.
Apex.
Yeah.
Back to the Apex?
I'm back to the Apex. Yeah, for some reason, I flip back and forth between the Apex and the Cranks.
Yep.
Depending on the conditions, really.
Yep. So how do you like the crank? What's your thoughts on that? I never expected you to throw kind of a carpet bag.
Yeah, no. We got into it, and I find they work really well. To be honest with you, I think they slide really well, probably in a bit more humid conditions than the Apex, where the Apex will probably bring up. But I find the carpet bag actually can overcome that and works out really well.
Yeah, well that's it. That's the whole point of it, is to kind of slip through the moisture, the humidity. I mean, it might come in handy this weekend.
It might.
We'll see though. Now, going in, you're playing doubles with Albert. You guys definitely kind of rip it up in Newfoundland there. No one can kind of hang with you guys and you go to tournaments. So this will be kind of interesting. You guys got Newfoundland on your back. You got the big Open coming in. You guys kind of put your foot in the door and be like, Newfoundland is a top contender for people here.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we want to, you know, I guess like anybody that's come here, we want to come here and we want to make a name for ourselves, make a name for the province, and you know, show that we can compete with anybody. And you know, I think that the gap is probably starting to close between the Canadians and the Americans, and you know, I certainly think that that's probably the way a lot of the Canadians feel.
Yeah, well, that's 100% it. You know, everyone's putting in the work, we're putting in the time. You know, maybe we just have less game time than they do, but I feel like we have put in the same amount of work that they do now to practice.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to Corpus Christi, right?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
No, won't make that one.
Is Albert going?
No.
No, you guys are out of it? Now, are you going to go to the Erie one?
Yes, the Erie one we plan on going to, yeah.
Okay, so that's good, because that's a nice close one to here.
Right, exactly.
So you can kind of fly into Canada and then...
That's what we were probably thinking about doing. Maybe, you know, with Bernie or maybe some other people there we can probably grab a ride with, or something of that nature. So it's something that I wanted to have a chat with maybe yourself, Bernie, and see what we can pull together for that national, right?
100%. We got to get a convoy going, get everyone. We got to get all the pros out there.
Yep.
We got to put some faces out. We got to do it. Now, are you going to try to make it out to Worlds as well?
Yes, definitely. Yeah.
Can't miss.
No, can't miss Worlds.
Can't miss Worlds.
Yeah. So no, I've got 2 weeks vacation planned around the world. So
Nice.
yeah, I look forward to that.
Now, where do you work? I've heard that you work in the States.
No. I work in the oil and gas industry back home, but involved in a project now that's actually happening in Ingleside, in Corpus Christi. So probably over the next year and a half, I'll probably be spending quite a bit of time there. So it might make it easier then to travel some of these events within the U.S. because of the cost that's associated from flying out of Newfoundland.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it's not cheap to fly out of Newfoundland. There's
No.
not a whole lot of flights going out of Newfoundland.
No.
So it's kind of hard to plan around that.
And as somebody that lived there for quite some time, the time of the year drastically affects it too.
Yes,
So like summertime, the flights just skyrocket up. If there gets to be an event in December, your flight costs go up.
Yeah.
As somebody, like I said, I lived out there for quite some time, and I also was involved in curling out there. And I know there's a big name curler that plays out there, and his travel costs are substantially more than any other team just because of traveling off the island. And so that ends up being a huge barrier for you guys in terms of what you're doing. But I know that you guys get great support out of Newfoundland. I know that being out there, the businesses support sports fantastic. And so hopefully by being able to get that pro status and go to some of these events, it'll really help kind of generate some of that for you guys out there. And I know that your directors do such a great job. I see events out there almost every night. Albert's winning something. I see pictures of that gentleman.
Oh, yes.
winning on So do you feel like you're going into the Open? I know you and Albert don't play too often together when you go to these events because they kind of PPR cap some of your events because you're really trying to grow the game out there. Do you get a whole lot of time playing together when you guys are playing out there?
No, we don't get a whole lot of time playing together. You know, most of our games is playing against each other, and I think there's advantages of that as well because I think we force each other to shoot better than what we normally probably would. You know, but for the most part, I mean, if we are playing together, it's more of a rec game than anything else type thing. And you know, that's important too, like you said, to grow the game. And you know, I had the Moondog had reached out to me because you know, probably what a lot of people don't know is myself and Albert come from a community of about 150 people. And you know, when you look at it, and there's 8 PDC players and there's 2 pro players across Canada, and 2 of them come from a community of 150 people, it kind of puts you into a special category. Someone told me that you probably got a better chance at winning the lotto than you do of 2 Canadian pro players coming from a community of 150 people.
You guys got 6 buildings in the place. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's cool to see your little Canada throws there in Point Bay.
Oh yes, no. That means an unbelievable time. I mean, we get a lot of the people that come out there, and you know, everybody has a great time, and it's more bragging rights than anything for those people, right?
Well, frick, yeah, exactly. You got 150 people in your community. 2 of them are cornhole pros. Everyone knows who you are. And people don't know that here. They're just like, it's just some guy from Newfoundland.
No, that's right, yeah.
Somebody just commented that they're hoping to be able to watch you and Albert at some point on a live stream. So you'll definitely have to let those 150 people know the moment that you guys get on the live stream.
I'm sure they'll be watching if that happens. So
well, you have lots of support in Newfoundland.
Oh, we do.
Everyone knows you in Newfoundland.
Yeah, no, that's certainly. I mean, Sean and Amber with the Cornhole NL, they do a fantastic job of running the league. I mean, you could pretty well play 5 or 6 nights a week back in Newfoundland and stuff. So
They're
it's
crazy, eh?
they're hardcore.
They're really hardcore. Imagine we had that up here. They travel, they host, they do everything.
They do, yeah.
Everything right.
And
They do everything right.
They do a lot of fundraisers for the community, which I think is also great. So I see, like I said, having been from there, fundraisers for some ball teams, hockey associations. And so they're also taking cornhole and they're kind of giving back to the community as well as growing the game, right? So that's huge for the city of St. John's because I know it's a community that rallies around people that are kind of giving back as well. So that's great to see out there with what Sean and Amber are doing. I know that they won Director of the Year last year at Worlds, which was huge for them.
That's right, yeah. Here we got the hat. We got the hat
here coming to say his all his good mornings and his hellos. Bernie, we heard you were having breakfast. What did you have for breakfast? What's the breakfast of champions?
Well, the breakfast of champions is the same breakfast I've had since I've probably been 5 years old, which is peanut butter and toast in the morning with my lovely dog, my puppy. But I just got to say, this is amazing. This is 100 times bigger and better than it was last year. The amount of talent that's in the room today is just tremendous. And it's just a pleasure to be here with the great Dion Kuza.
Thank you.
I haven't seen you since the Netherlands, my friend.
I know.
You look incredible.
Yeah, no, it's been good.
Incredible, like 10 years younger. Every time I'm getting older and bigger, and you're getting younger. I don't get this.
Yeah.
I'll let you guys go. It was great seeing you. I'll come talk to you in a little bit when you get off the air.
All right, thank you.
All right. See you guys later.
No, I mean, you just made a very good point there about supporting the community. There's been a lot of events that happen that Sean and Amber do for, particularly minor hockey, cheerleading, and stuff of that nature. And it's a situation whereby you go out and you play cornhole, and all of and you play for 3 to 4 hours, and you raise $2,000, $2,500. So I mean, it's not like you're in someone's face selling tickets or whatever the case may be. It's something that people want to do and actually support it. So
and it's funny because like I got friends that are still out there. And when I told them that I was actually coming out to Newfoundland for the Canadian Open #2, then some of the names from Cornhole Newfoundland and yourself and Albert's name starts coming up because they've attended some of those events or they've been a participant because they're trying to raise money for a ball team or a hockey organization or something like that. And so what you guys are doing out there is absolutely amazing.
Yeah, and anytime we, if it did happen that we did win, we always give the money in that back. So I mean, it's just showing support for those. The kids' programs and stuff of that nature and that, right? So it works out really well.
So are you taking notes from Bella here on the roll shot? She's playing kind of slower bags like you. So are you gonna get to the point where you're throwing these roll shots like her? Because
I don't think I can actually attempt a roll shot. I'll be honest with you. It's I try and master up the middle and have an airmail that I can fall back on. I hear people say all the time that Matt Guy got 2 shots. And if you got 2 shots that you can put the bag in the hole every time, I don't know if you really need to try to master a roll shot or a cut shot. Or I'm going to try and stick with 2 shots.
There you go. Less to practice.
Oh my God. That was 7 rounds, not even. 5 rounds.
Yeah, that's crazy shooting.
She's on fire.
She's going to be really tough to beat here as we kind of go further and further into this bracket.
Do we know how Albert's making out?
Yeah, let's check on Albert.
Let's check on Albert here.
Let's see how he's doing. Did he pull out with Scott? They're still going.
10-8.
Oh.
They're still going.
13 rounds deep, both throwing 9.
Wow. Albert and Scott Burns are 13 rounds, and Albert is up, is he?
Yeah, he's
Albert's up 13-8. Oh, nice.
4 4-baggers for Albert. Look at that line right there.
Nasty.
Those boys are playing really good.
Yeah, they're
court 20. We can kind of just see the court 20 is right there, straight ahead from us. Can't really see them. But wow.
We need to have them on the broadcast here.
We do. It's Tom Paul's gaming it up here.
Yeah.
No, you're getting rid of the zone now. I played against Scott there the other day, and he's been shooting really good.
Yeah.
And he's got the same play style as Albert.
You see the skill level of everybody. Like I told people that I feel as if I'm better today than I was last year, but so is everyone else. Yeah. It's crazy when you think about it. And there's kids here that I just see that were probably anywhere from 12 to 15 years old, banging 8 ear mails in a row, and I'm just thinking, man, I hope I don't have to play him.
That's how we all feel.
Oh man, they're just it's just absolutely
It's
crazy.
not good for our ego, is it?
No, it's not good. No.
So what's the buzz around the Open coming to Newfoundland?
Boy, I tell you, it's going to be a big event. I think what you'll see there is you'll see a lot of the local people that don't travel here that'll actually come and play in these tournaments, and these are people that actually shoot really well. I would think Newfoundland can probably have 2 teams in the event.
Okay.
And guys that you haven't heard of, and they'd be competitive.
Right.
Yeah. We also talk about the fact that what the crowd did for us here last year.
Right.
They pulled off a barbecue and stuff, and so we're planning some stuff with some screech-ins and barbecues
Jigs
and stuff.
dinner?
Probably a jigs dinner. You never know.
A little salt,
Yeah.
salt meat action.
A little salt meat. I mean, yeah. If we get all you guys filled up on salt meat, I mean, it might be an advantage for us.
It might- yeah. Just slug it in.
There we go. Sponsor gear.
That's nice.
And everybody's going to be coming out and experiencing George Street for the first time.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, I'm sure George Street will be rocking. Come June month, the weather's getting better. So I mean, like I tell people is that again, based on how you guys treated us here last year, is that what we need to do now has to go above and beyond, in my opinion, and make sure that we give back that hospitality.
I've never been disappointed by Newfoundland hospitality.
No, you certainly won't.
I remember when I moved out there, I had met a guy one time at an event that I played in, and that I messaged him, said, "Hey, I'm moving to Newfoundland, love to meet up." He's like, "When do you need me to pick you up at the airport?"
Yeah.
Picked me up at the airport, and I thought he'd take me back to my apartment that I'd rented. Nope, he took me to his home and he had dinner with his family, all made up. So
Yeah.
the hospitality that I expect when we come out there will be top notch, based on my experience of being a mainlander coming out to the island.
No, you're so true. I mean, there'll be strangers that'll be asking you to come here or there for a beer and stuff of that nature. That's just how we operate, and yeah.
And the event's being hosted at the Remax Center.
It's being hosted at the Remax Center, yeah.
So you'll be having it on the curling club floor, so that's
Yep.
a concrete floor in there. So that'll be a nice big venue. Your Newfoundlanders will kind of get to experience many boards in one kind of location.
Yep.
I know that the plan is that they're going to be bringing these ACL boards out there, so it'll be kind of a nice treat for you guys to have that out there. And
Yeah, and upstairs we'll probably end up putting a couple boards upstairs, and that could be a place then where people can go up and practice, and it's the whole wall up there is glass, so you can look down over and stuff, and so it'd be a nice venue.
that is a place that's close, near and dear to my heart as a curler that has played there many a times in the past.
Oh yeah,
That building
right.
is near and dear to my heart. So.
Nice.
Wow, we got juniors.
Here's the juniors that you were talking about putting up big numbers.
Oh, these kids are they're phenomenal.
Let's see a little update on.
Yeah, let's see an update on Albert.
I guess that's it. Right here. Albert's up 19 to 12.
Albert is up 19 to 12.
54 bags in.
Wow.
God. What round is that? 19.
Albert's got 21% of his shots are 4-baggers.
That's,
Yeah, he's on fire.
he's feeling it. He's feeling it.
Yeah, and he shot really well last night at the Garden City. Yeah, he had the top PPR actually there last night. So he's been on fire.
Wow. What's he throwing right now?
He's actually throwing the sparks.
Wow.
Oh yeah, he is.
You guys are veering away from the really, really slow bag.
Yeah,
You're letting the bags do the work.
yeah, let the bags do the work. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
All right, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming, dude.
All right.
That's
Somebody hit
awesome.
that camera. Thanks a lot, dude.
There you go, buddy. All right. Take care.
This
See you
one.
guys.
Yeah. See ya.
So that was the the infamous Dion Kuza. If you haven't seen him play, hopefully he finds his way onto a live stream this weekend. Definitely one of our shooters up here in Canada that is a name to be watching for.
Beer 30.
So we have two juniors here just based on their down and back. I'm going to expect we're going to see some more roll shots just like Bella just threw for us. They've got nice backloaded flop bags, so we'll see them kind of go at it.
Wild. This is going to be wild. This is going to be wild too. Oh, yeah? We got a guest. There we
New
go.
guests.
We like more guests. Welcome, Susan.
Hi.
How's it going?
Oh, lovely. I'm sweating.
Yeah? Well, you just played a really good women's game. So.
Susan, are you familiar with these two young gentlemen?
I am. We have Nakota and then we have Kaden. So they're both from New York.
Okay.
Kaden just won high schools. Yeah, an open. I don't remember honestly which one it was, but it might have been Myrtle Beach.
Now, which one's Kaden?
Kaden's the one with her.
Okay. So you're just rooting for them. These here, like their mom here.
Yes.
Here, let me.
I know. I'm too short. I can't see. Thank you.
Can you see that board though?
I can.
Okay.
I can see that one.
Cool, because we couldn't see that board either. We needed an excuse
so
to move
I
it.
thought it was my height.
No. Yeah, this is gonna be interesting. We haven't actually commentated any games yet. Really, we've been talking the whole
We've just
time.
been chatting.
Chit chat.
We just chat the whole time. This is a game that we actually really want to watch, especially young talent. This
Yeah,
is.
they're both very, very good.
And this is the growth of the game. And I know you being a director, Connor being a director, myself being a director, like this is our future.
Yes.
And then, so, and I know that ACL is putting a lot of time both into women and juniors to kind of grow the game because I'm sure that this isn't the last time that they're going to play on a broadcast court. These two probably may not have played on a whole lot of broadcast opportunities, but there's going to be lots of opportunities in the future. So, and I know we've been following along on their numbers as they've kind of been able to go through the bracket, and it's just like that's me on a good day, and that's these kids probably just
Oh yeah.
out shooting, right? And I know both me and Connor had the opportunity to go to Worlds last year, and we were talking to the Gores, and COVID kind of helped a lot of these kids develop because when they didn't have school, what did they had to find something to do,
throw
right? And
bags.
so they'd throw bags, and so I'm sure these two youngsters are the same way. When COVID kind of hit, and they were looking for something to do, but in between virtual classes and doing homework, they was throwing bags. So
Yep.
I know Nakota was definitely throwing bags the whole time.
And it shows. It shows that these kids play a lot. It's just rolling pro snipers. These kids are going to be rolling these bags all day. It's going to be a good slow game. All right, just off to the right side of it. Oh, yeah. See if we can get a little sneak around on the left. Blocks are behind. This gives an opportunity for Nakota to roll. It's coming flat. Try to sneak around. But he's got bumpers on both sides. This is a perfect opportunity for a roll. He's pinched it hard. It's coming in. Here it is.
a little short.
You got a full hole. Does he shoot it or does he board it? He shoots it. Nice.
Popped
There,
out
Mel.
looking to see if he had that push for a bundle, but takes the opportunity.
It's risky. Oh my God. Yeah, just a classic 6. Don't worry. Just 2 impressive air miles and no big deal. It's just another day in the office for these kids. Frick.
Struggling trying to hit.
Yeah, exactly.
If you guys are playing in the swap, your check-ins just came out.
Oh yeah,
I
swap for
don't
the.
get texts.
Oh yeah, you're from the.
Tell me later.
You're not from here.
I don't.
Not from these parts.
I'm close enough to think I'd still get a vibe.
Now, what time does the swap start at?
2
2?
o'clock.
Okay.
I think it's one.
Is it 1?
It might be 1.
Are we in a time change? Time zone?
There is not
Yeah,
a time
it's
zone
time
change
zone.
here. I just figured that I was here all day, so I didn't really need to know when I needed. My phone will tell me when I need to go.
Yeah.
I figured I was in here for the long haul all day, so commentate some games, play some games.
My stress is done. That's all I had was working. So.
Who
now
are you
I
playing?
just have
Who are you
fun.
playing doubles with?
Bob Olzak.
Okay.
He's also from Buffalo.
Oh,
He's making
Sean.
his breaker. Yeah, Sean showed up with all the yellow.
You never miss him when he walks in the door.
Not at all.
There he is. Good old Sean Farrell, Nick. Nick looks like he hasn't slept a day.
So 2 returning people coming to us back at the Open this year. So Sean and Nick both were here for the Canadian Open last year. And so familiar faces to some of our Canadians that are returning to the Open as well, I'm sure. Both of them did very, very well in pretty much every event they played in.
Yeah, definitely.
But I definitely think that they're one of the people that are going to see the growth of the Canadians over the last year too. Because I know multiple people have talked about it, that numbers have gone up for the Canadians.
Yeah, I didn't make it last year. I'm glad I was able to do it this year, but there's definitely a lot of talent.
It's fun. It's cool.
And everyone's having fun.
Yeah.
Yep.
I noticed it's so different. Like everyone's having fun, just enjoy themselves. It's not so serious,
Right.
which was nice.
Pro Saber
Right.
roll bag, you almost got it.
He's like, whatever.
Whatever.
Still got it.
I jammed it.
Definitely do it.
He's gonna get all of them. Ooh. That's a 10 on 6. That's 4 points right there.
The sensei.
Good old Sean Farrell. Oh my gosh, they're both shooting 8s. Here we go. But they're also going for little tricks on each other the whole time. Lots of roll bags, lots of
Lot of
shots.
blocks.
Definitely trying to dirty it up, and they're still shooting 8s.
Yeah, exactly. And could you imagine averaging an 8 with a dirty game? Like,
Absolutely not. I can't average 8 for someone from home.
there you go. He's got a nice backloaded throw when he throws normally.
That's all they need too. When these kids throw, it just hits so hard.
Yeah.
Everything echoes.
Oh yeah. Playing a little garage with them, you'll go deaf. Wow. Once you said that, it got drastically louder.
Because you pay attention to it, it's so loud.
It's so loud.
And when they're next to you, it just like echoes.
Oh, it's wild. Yeah, you're standing at the other side playing a blind draw with them, and you're like, I forgot my earplugs.
Right?
It's good though. It's good.
Are you playing the swap?
Yeah, I am.
Top 128 go to a single elimination.
Oh yeah.
It's
4-round robin.
256 in the swap. Top 128 go to a single elim.
That's fun. That means it's full.
That means it is full. I think that I saw text messages or emails go out this week that they were waitlisting a lot of the events, which is huge for Canada Cornhole. Like that shows that we got some support from the Americans,
It's amazing.
but at the same time,
Last
our
year
ca-
we weren't full.
we weren't full. I know that the border kind of played a lot of issues with
It was
us
a big
last
thing
year.
For me, yeah.
So anybody that wasn't COVID vaccinated last year couldn't get across, but now with the borders kind of opening up,
Oh, we hit it in.
I was
kind
so
of
excited when they opened everything up.
Thank you. Look at Tim analyzing so hard over there. So
he's just watching these kids throw these flat roll bags, and he's just like, I throw pro snipers, and they just kind of go in the hole.
yeah, exactly. Tim's actually really good. He's a great role model for a lot of junior players here. So Tim is that guy. You see him roll up, and you're like, man, it's just another old guy.
Right.
And then he will feed into you. And a lot of the junior players actually look up to Tim. So he goes up and he always talks to them, and it's like, you're getting really good. And
That's good. So he is our Bobby Smith.
that's exactly what he is. That's exactly what he is. All the juniors know Tim.
Amazing. Yeah, he's a great person.
He's a super nice guy, but don't mess with him. He'll take you out. He'll take you out. Literally.
He's a secret assassin. I know Tim quite well.
Secret assassin is
and
exactly
Tim
what he is.
actually comes from a background of lacrosse.
Oh, okay.
And as you get to know Canada Cornhole, everybody's kind of got a little bit of a backstory, and Tim's backstory is actually a lacrosse enforcer as well.
Yeah.
So
okay.
he was the guy that you didn't mess with, or if you were picking on the kids on the team, Tim was the guy that went out and ended it, right? So little things that people don't know about some of the people here in Canada Cornhole, but
Don't fuck
a lot
with
of
Tim.
different backgrounds
Pardon
of
my
where people
French.
have come from, where have brought them to cornhole, but the different experiences. And so I know
So it's not just hockey.
it's not just hockey up here.
Not
So
just hockey.
when you talk about Bernie the Hat comes from a background of boxing,
Yes,
actually.
I heard about
So like everybody's got a little bit of a story. I know one of the guys that I play with, he was a top disc golf player. So yeah, it's not just hockey up here. It's not 95% of our people all ventured to try and be into the NHL.
Yep.
And then you got Connor, the non-athlete. That.
What do you mean? I play beanbags.
Now you are an athlete.
Now
And
you
now I
are
am.
a
I'm a
pro
professional athlete. Get out of here. So,
Eating chicken wings, drinking beer.
chicken wings and beer.
That's the way you're going to be an athlete. That's the way you're going to go.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't go wrong.
Exactly. Now, right now, it's a little laid back. You'll see more athlete physique later. I'm not going to be drinking beers, but.
Now that I'm done playing, I will have a few drinks.
Exactly. So, speaking about sports, so the small town that I live in, we have it's a population of like 1,500 people. So, the town I live in actually is where basketball originated,
Oh, okay.
Almont. So, the guy who created it, Dr. James Naismith, he grew up in Almont, and he ended up going to school, and in their spare time, they invented this basketball. And so he created it in I forget what university it is in the States, but that's where it really had the first couple games. But cool stories about how it started. It started in a small town in Canada, and the guy who did it. So he's got a monument, and leading up to it, I'm a big kind of ghost guy. I love ghosts, and so there's I love ghosts. I love ghosts. So we're this is super off topic. Yes, I love it. Anyways, so there's actually this building where he grew up and played as a kid, and we did like a ghost walk night, and we were actually able to speak with James Naismith at that night. So they had like all the boxes. We just asked who it was, honestly, and he said Naismith. Anyways, super cool.
He said shoot the airmail.
Yeah, he said shoot the airmail, 4-bagger, and that's when I knew that I needed to keep playing cornhole. But it's so funny.
So Susan, what do you have going? I know you're a regional director in this. So what do you got kind of going down there? I know we were talking when Dion was here about all the great things that they're doing out in Newfoundland. What do you have kind of going on in your way?
We have so many directors now, so there's just so many. Every weekend there's a regional.
Right.
It is crazy. Wherever you want to go, if you want to drive 3 hours, you'll get a regional. But no big events yet. I'm trying to do another big event. I did a casino event last year.
Okay.
Wow.
So that was at Niagara in New York, and that was a full day event. It was like a super regional.
Right, and you had some Canadians come over
I
to that
did.
last year.
Yeah,
So
that's when I first met Brandon and Tracy. I'm trying to think who else was down there. I think Bertie was down there. That was the first time I met everyone, so it was cool. It was fun.
These kids are just shooting straight fire.
Ridiculous.
Like, I have nothing to say. I'm just like, I just watch the kids. If I'm not talking, I'm watching them. It's just dead silent.
So Susan, are you going to make it out to the second Canadian Open, or are you going to go out east?
I really, really want to go, but it's about a 10-hour drive,
Yeah.
and it's very, very expensive for me to fly out there.
It's a 10-hour drive from New York.
Yeah.
Worth it.
When I moved off the island, I made that drive home, and I made it in February though. So it might be a little bit of a different experience, but I would never drive it again in February, I'll tell you that. But
I'm hoping next year I'm going to be Toronto. I love Toronto, so it'd be kind of cool to do that. Plus, it's still close.
I know there's a Facebook group out there called Canada Throws, and they put out, and they were asking where they wanted to see the next Canadian Open. And a lot of places came up, Alberta's, BC's.
Ottawa.
Yeah, I can feel you in terms of going out there and how expensive it would be. It'd almost be cheaper for you to come into Toronto and then
Right, and then
fly
fly
to
out that way.
Toronto
I
out
was thinking of that.
because I think just trying to get there, you either got to go to Newark and you can go Newark up, or you got to come to Toronto and go across.
I think I'd have to go to Toronto and go that way.
So-
But I'm looking into it. I don't know for sure yet, but we still could go.
I think that
Hi, Brandon.
I think it's one of those things that the Americans might, because the travel is they're either going to
Yes.
have to go through Toronto or they're going to have to go to
Yes,
Newark to get
exactly.
there, because those are
complete
you're only
opposite
trying to 2 direct flights. I guess if you're coming from the West Coast, you can probably go up into Calgary.
I can see more people coming out from the West Coast than you're going to get the same people here. But I got Rhode Island still. I can play in Erie PA Nationals. I can play women's there, so I'll definitely go in Erie PA. And then Worlds. So.
Are you going to Canton?
I might, because it's not that far.
That's not far for
Yeah,
you
it's not
either.
far. It's maybe about 4 hours, so I'll probably go there too.
I know a lot of the Canadians have kind of talked about how that's probably our closest open that's not in Canada this year, so kind of a summer drive as well. So you might see some Canadians kind of in Canton as well. So
Always fun and good people.
I know you've made a lot of Canadian friends. Kind of.
I have.
We met last year at the Worlds because you knew Brandon and Tracy at that point in time, and kind of being Canadian and being at the Worlds, they were like, "Oh, this is Susan."
Yep.
And then we ended up playing in the same division down there. So ran into each other playing singles at Worlds last year. So.
I just have nothing to say. I just love watching these kids. I just love watching these kids. They're both averaging like a 9, and it's just wow.
9.69 and 8.9.
I find juniors just so entertaining.
They're fearless, and so when you talk,
There's no nerves.
there's no nerves. They're fearless. If they miss a shot, they're just like, whatever. It was mom and dad's money that got me in here anyway. So
I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, it's because you paid for it to get in.
it was mom and dad's money that got them in the event. So who cares if I win mom and dad dinner?
Whatever.
Then I'm cool with that too.
Just so smooth. Just so smooth.
So I know who I want to avoid in doubles tomorrow. These two guys.
And singles.
It's not,
No, they're both playing advanced.
They're both playing advanced?
Oh, yeah.
Are you playing Advanced Open?
I don't know yet. I might put myself up. I still throw like a low competitive stat, so we'll see. We'll see.
I got my ACL competitive bump this week, so I had to move up.
They haven't bumped me yet.
They had to move me up. So I moved myself. Oh,
I moved myself up to competitive before they're going to. Like, okay, beginning of the year, I'm like, okay, something. I'm definitely not intermediate anymore.
No, you are not.
No, not anymore. I skated by until Worlds, and then it rolled down to what happened. But I'm like, okay.
well, and we were both in that bracket, and we both shot really well, and
did.
neither one of us really were even close to
No,
the
not even
end.
close to anyone else.
Like the numbers that the guys were throwing in intermediate worlds last year at the end was just like.
It was ridiculous.
Wow, nice rollback. Almost looked like that was supposed to be a block, but it ended up being a roll. Just so crazy watching kids play.
He willed that one back towards the hole. He was like, "Come on!"
Chance for 2. Take your 2. Gets it. It's 18-11.
There must be something interesting going on over there because there's a large contingent of people. I'm guessing that that's probably one of the women's games. Getting pretty deep into the women's bracket, maybe.
Might be it. Oh, it's a Lynn
Oh, Canadian.
against Nicole Pratt.
Against Nicole Pratt.
So a Lynn's the last female. Oh, what did I get here? I want to go peek on that because a Lynn plays for my league.
Oh, awesome. That's exciting.
Okay, I'm going to go take a peek really quick just at it.
Peek around the corner.
Are you coming back, or are you just going to leave the reins to me and Susan? Because I
think you and Susan can
We're trying.
it's hard to talk about these kids because it's just made shot, made shot, made shot.
It's all stuff I can't do.
Have you taught them the corn dug yet? Pull them aside and teach them the corn dug?
I don't think anyone wants to learn that.
It's something you not have in your toolkit. If the board's full around the hole and you just need to throw it off.
Well, once you start them and they get addicting.
Hardest shot in the game, Doug.
Shooting a 9.69 and a 9.13. You can only hope.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations when you look back at it and you played 16 rounds after a 9-1-3 and you lost. It's like you gotta just kind of tip your cap and say.
Like, okay, I'm happy with that.
But then, at this young age, kind of part of the learning development is, well, where do I find that extra half point here to kind of keep up with this guy? And I know that that's all part of the development. And I know a lot of Canadians kind of talk about that. Well, where do I find another? Good shot. Where do I find another half point PPR? Where do I find another quarter point PPR? Because that might be the difference between you finish 4th in a bracket or you were able to get to the final 2. Might have just been 0.2 of a point over the course of the event, right? So
Nice shot.
kind of left that one there. Kind of makes this next airmail a little scarier here because you drag it and he makes his next airmail and all of a sudden it would be a 12-7.
Dakota has one offer.
12-6 now.
Yeah, it could be 12-6. Yeah, 12-6. 2017.
That's kind of a turning point in the game because now all of a sudden you're within striking distance. You have lead bag. He misses one here early, and he might end up having to throw a shot against the wind at this point in time, which
See, that's where I get nervous. It's like if
Yeah.
I come back, if someone's coming back on me, I'm like, I'm done.
Done.
Over. It's like, oh my gosh, why did I just do that? I just gave up.
That's that whole mindset,
Oh, yeah,
cornhole
definitely.
thing that it just drives me insane.
It is. You're basically fighting with yourself.
Yep. Which is something, if you can look up Cornhole Mish, that all of her
Yes,
stuff,
yep.
her boot camp stuff is just really helps with that.
if he can cut around here twice. It's kind of that risky situation here. Do you throw the block here, force him to shoot
I
it?
think he might go for there now.
But the problem is you make the airmail. It's just an easy collect.
Yep.
Oh. Oh. So how do you regroup in this situation now? You just had a shot for the win.
Right.
All you need is a slide shot in. Your partner gives you kind of open the door, and you just kind of slide by the hole. Does this give the advantage back to Caden at this point in time?
Seems to breathe this. This is so tough because I'm cheering for
Both of them.
It's so.
I think it's a testament to the junior game
Yeah.
kind of in your area now
Yep.
that you've got
It's
juniors coming.
crazy. So many.
Oh, we've kind of rolled.
And who was another Brody? He's
Good.
stepped up too. He's got.
So he's got to kind of he's chasing 2 points here,
Yeah,
right?
he's
So
trying, yep.
and if you're Dakota, you're just kind of saying you got to make it.
Go in, yep. Pass it. He messes up. That's it.
Oh, this is
That's it. That's it. Good game. Oh, thank you.
There. Thanks, Susan, for stepping in
Thanks,
there 'cause
Susan.
she didn't know about the 2 players.
Enjoy.
So there, Dakota Jackson.
They're right back up here. So this is a final. They just play their double dip right here.
Going into game 2 of the junior singles final over here on board 1.
Oh, Connor, get back here.
Hold on. I gotta put stuff all over. Need to get situated.
Scoreboard didn't reset.
It won't update till they.
Okay.
It should update actually.
looking like a 12 on 10 there.
12 on 10?
Yep, 2-0 for Caden.
So this is one of those situations where you just lost the first game of the potential double dip, and I always ask myself the question playing singles: do you flip his side, change his optics, change the side that he's on, try and do something different? I know they both just played really well, but whatever kind of mind game you can play in this situation may be to your benefit. In singles, it really doesn't matter because you end up having to throw both sides of the board, but
Yeah.
maybe you put him a little bit closer to the crowd where he ends up having to hear the people talking. Do you change where now all of a sudden you're putting in the score and he's picking up the bags? Can you just change something just
Yeah,
that little bit?
Or even I was almost even going to the mindset of do I even change my bag? Right? And
It's one of those situations, I think, Doug, where you just shot a 9-2. I don't know. But he's got an early 4-point lead here, so he's just been a bag better than Dakota at this, or I guess it's Dakota at this point in time. So he just kind of keep lead bag here, keep throwing the first bag in, and seeing if he can kind of force a little pressure.
You know, we sometimes make that comparison for up here, at least the cornhole to curling. What would you do? Like, I know you don't have a double dip in curling, but you've got that background where if you had to play a game, you could say a second game against a team. What does that mindset for you there?
Well, kind of curling being a team sport, whereas these guys are playing singles, it's kind of just trying to find a way to rally, right? So you got to find a way to, and we were kind of talking to Susan about it. What's in your mindset of how do I find another quarter point PPR in the next game that kind of just brings me that one bag closer? Because realistically, the difference in that game was potentially one bag.
Yeah.
And so just having that conversation with your teammates and saying, how do we find one extra point? Well, where did we lose that, or where did we miss that one shot that kind of potentially opened the door for a 2 for the other team? And just kind of trying to analyze that. And that's kind of the mental part of this game. Sometimes people overlook the ability to kind of think through the game and just think it's throwing 4 bags in a round and seeing what happens, right? Whereas I guarantee that these guys are analyzing every round, saying, what do I need to do? How can I push? Where can I find some pressure to put onto the other guy? Where can I potentially force a miss out of my opponent? And at this point in time, it looks like Caden's lost first bag, so he's got to put a little pressure on here, because if Dakota continues just to throw first bag in, he's going to have to find a way to, and there it is. So Caden's put a little pressure on here, throwing that block at this point in time. Now can he collect it and
just missed.
get the miss? And Dakota missed the one left, and so can he collect here for a 10 on 8 and get the lead bag back?
Yeah, he does. I think it's 6-2 now for Caden. Now, I'm not sure. I was talking with Clayton McMillan. So our junior player up here, Gage McMillan, these were his 2 losses to both these players. I believe it was to Caden. It came down to the last bag. Like, I believe Gage missed a shot. Where it's just that, for Gage, he's kind of had, I don't want to say an easy road with the juniors up here, but he's had a little more competition with these players here.
Well, Gage is typically forced to play against our adult players here to get this kind of level of competition, and so to kind of see this at his own age bracket now is just definitely a learning experience for Gage, kind of going forward here within Canadian Cornhole. I've kind of been following along with Gage, and his partner in the past was Mason Stewart. I was another junior player playing at the Open as young players last year at this. Now to see where Gage is kind of progressed to is a testament to the work that he's put in, the support that he gets from his father to kind of haul him around to these events. But now this is the next step for Gage in terms of finding it against these other top level juniors, because ACL's now kind of put a focal point on juniors having their own standings kind of after opens and conferences and stuff like that. Gives people like Gage the opportunity to kind of find out where you stand amongst your age bracket, because I know before juniors just kind of got lumped into open standings,
Yeah.
and you didn't really kind of know where you stood age-wise. But kind of moving forward, you now know who your top junior players are kind of come the end of the season.
I think this even helps him out as well too, because he'll be going to the Open in Rhode Island, I believe. So it's just another one for him to see there. Nice replacement bag there by Caden.
Not happy about it, but he gets the miss out of Nakota, and Nakota actually taps him in for a 12-8.
12 on 8.
So this is that tough situation for Nakota where he's got to find some sort of miss where he can put the pressure on, get lead bag back, and start to see if he can kind of push for some points. There's a real big opportunity for Nakota here. So he's now got his lane, whereas Hayden's kind of blocked out. He's bullied it in his last 2 shots. So if Nakota can here just kind of throw 2 slide shots in, he can get his 12 on 8 and pick 4 points back up and lead bag, which I think will allow for him to kind of get back in and put a little bit more pressure on Caden at this point in time.
Oh, just misses it. 10 on 8. So a little bit of points back. It's now 14-4. Room here now starting to fill up a bit more. Now we've got more players starting to roll in for the ACL swap that's back up at 1 o'clock. We won't have that live. We'll be back tonight for the teams event.
So there's the miss he already was looking for at the start of this round. So he threw the block and kind of got the bag miss left, and now all of a sudden he's looking at potentially scoring 2 points. Unless Caden really wants to take an opportunity to take a risk and shoot the airmail. But even with that 1 miss, he still has an opportunity to wash out here and shoot it, I think. Try to take the opportunity here because he can get the and 1 and drag.
Oh!
So he gives up 2, which after the great block on Nakota's first bag, he was kind of looking at potentially giving up 2 anyways. So risk versus reward, having a 4 lead at the point in time. He had an opportunity to get lead bag back, score 2 points, and kind of, or even with the and 1, score 3 points.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking when you were kind of wandering around, Doug, about the fearless mentality of these junior players. Like,
Oh, yeah.
they play fearless. He looks at the scoreboard and says, I've got the lead and I still have an opportunity after this to score 7 points and win. So
Yeah.
I'm going to try and...
Oh. Starting to think, I think we hadn't seen any of those short bags like
It
that.
might
at
be
all.
the first corn dog that I'd seen out of these 2 in the 2 games they've been playing.
Needs to make this here to limit any of the damage. No. 10 on 5.
So right back in the game now at this point in time. He's chasing 3, but he's got lead bag and he's got momentum. And there's a whole lot to say about momentum in Cornwall.
And with what you said there about, these guys here, I don't think they really understand the pressure. Right? It's just I don't want to say young and naive, but just not really knowing kind of, well, they probably do know where they're at in the game, but just, there's just not that realization of it yet.
The term I always use with the junior players is they all kind of feel like they're playing with house money.
Yeah.
That the risk versus reward kind of mentality is very, very different than some of our older, more experienced players, but also can pay off big when they because they have the shots in the toolkit to be able to make it. I'm assuming that we're going to see an airmail here and potentially get a drag, and Dakota's going to have a hard time collecting there.
Yeah.
He might try and cut the first one just because it only gives him one shot at the push.
So he can possibly drag both those bags. So that leaves that open for Caden still there to go up with the airmail.
He's going to push to try and get them all. He takes one and he gets his 3 points.
8 on 5.
8 on 5.
Makes it now 17-11. Puts his first bag in.
So it's one of those situations, I know I talk with people that I play with on a regular basis, when your opponent misses that bag that's kind of uncollectible to the side of the hole and you're down points. Is that an opportunity where he could have thrown a block and said, hey, can I generate a whole lot of pressure here, knowing that you've already missed one bag? But he decides to throw it in and potentially play for his 12 and get his 2 points out of it, but seems like we got a couple misses and
6 on 8 on 6. No, maybe 8 on 8.
No, it was 8 on 6. 8 on 6.
Okay, yeah, 19. For me, whenever I play, even if that guy, whatever, I'm always looking for that first bag block. Then if I need to, I just try and replace if I can.
It's a great shot.
Yeah. Just come around back there by Caden. Dakota drags just a little closer there with that.
He's kind of left it where if he needs to pull it at the end of the round, then, but he's still
kind of tag that one a bit.
He's trying to inch it and inch it. Now he needs it.
Now that he does need that nail. And he got it. Great shot by Dakota there.
That would be one of those situations that if Nakota's able to come back in this game, that you can look back and say, well, and it was probably his third bag that made the difference, kind of being able to pull it a little bit closer back towards the hole. So if he did end up needing it, then he would be able to pull it.
Both of these kids thrown over a 9 here right now.
So Caden's kind of baiting him at this point in time to see if he will hit that kind of short block and roll off or whatever.
Oh, there. And there's the 2.
I'm sure that those two have played against one another many times, and it's not going to be the last time that they're going to be playing against each other on a broadcast or at some point in time. So,
for sure. But yeah, so Caden, junior singles champion here. I think we got our women's final here coming up right away. Either way, we will be right back.
live here, Doug?
Okay, we are live here. Is this women's singles final here now?
I believe so.
I believe so.
King C game, Doug.
King seeking.
Congratulations, Kate Whitcow, taking down junior singles.
Actually, we would have the twin seat game. Is what this one is. Maddie McBride, Bella Surprenant. Which I think Bella may have been Trey Ryder's pick.
Yep, she was Trey Ryder's picks, but we saw her here earlier, and it was a pretty short game. She didn't miss much in her game here earlier. She threw a lot of blocks, rolled over them, collected her last one, and kind of moved forward. So I expect her to probably use the same strategy. She's finding that these boards are quite good to roll on right now, so it's her game. It's kind of... So she's used the DG Wizards, and I believe Maddie McBride was throwing sorcerers here earlier, so I'm assuming she hasn't changed. So an all BG matchup. I know Rich was following along every time one of these girls hit the live stream, so I'm sure he's probably still in here following along. So he was biased in our 2 games earlier because it wasn't a BG matchup, but now I don't know where he's gonna. I'm sure he's just cheering for a good game to see a lot of BG bags go in the hole.
Pressure is on for him. So Bella takes the early lead 5-0.
That block is almost automatic.
Nice push through there by Bella. Maddie does the same thing.
Double blocks, and so there's a
Nice bag by Maddie there.
wow. There's a collect for 12. So 4 more for Bella at this point in time. All kind of set up by that 2-bag blocker. And Maddie tried to roll over it, but Bella just was able to collect for 12.
There's that first bag block again. Maddie goes right through it. Double 4-bagger.
One of those situations where Bella throws the first bag block, and if you kind of push through it, then she's just like, oh, I'll try again next round.
Yeah. Now I know I did talk to Bernie and Wally about this on the ACL, but Maddie McBride is so... Sam Finley has brought her up to play here, to be her partner for the doubles. And Sam has kind of got the... I don't know if she want to say that she's bringing the next best player for the next year up, but because she did the same thing with Chris Kingsbury last year.
And that worked out for him.
Yes, it did. On 6. So you're thinking that maybe next year that the Sam may have a lot of calls to be a partner coming up here?
If it ends up working out for Maddie here, and it's back-to-back years where she's been able to bring somebody back up and that wasn't a pro here with the ACL and then go on to have a good season, kind of like what Chris Kingsbury did. I know I had an opportunity to meet him at last year's Open, and we follow him on Facebook, and that guy's winning something almost every night.
Yeah.
He's gone on, found himself a great pro partner. You see him putting podium finishes together. So Sam definitely has an eye for scouting.
For sure, yeah. I've tried to get Chris on the down and back a couple times, but he's just always playing cornhole. He can never find a free time.
Maybe you have to match his winnings one night, Doug, and send him some money if you're going to end up getting him on the down and back.
Yeah, we'll have to start to do like a GoFundMe or something for me to do that. 18-0 here now for Bella. Maddie's bags kind of just keep kicking to the left there. Yeah.
It's that situation that if Maddie was able to get lead bag and kind of make that block go away, I think that she's going to see a little bit more success. But
Oh, nice airmail to finish off there, but
and that is all she wrote for that one. So that puts Bella into the queen seat at this point in time, and Maddie will play the winner of the people that have been going through a lengthy grind here.
yeah. So Miranda Coy looks like just beat Sam Finley. So we are now waiting the game from Lisa Cooper and Tiffany Fincham to finish up. That one right now is 6-1 for Tiffany. Then that winner will play against Miranda.
So Jay Dotson's awaiting the winner of the game there.
Between Larry Luckenbill Jr. and Tony Pena. And Larry is up 11-0 right now.
So Tony's the gentleman that he beat here on the live stream in his king seat game. So Tony probably had to wait a little bit, comes out. That's a tough wait sometimes.
Yep.
And there's a huge art to kind of being able to find a way to stay focused and stay loose, kind of being able to come back after a lengthy waiting for that kind of loser bracket to kind of catch up after a king seat is definitely not the easiest situation. So, and you're playing somebody with momentum, right? So you look at Larry, he's probably had to win. I can see 4 games there just on the screen, Doug, that he's had to win to get to that situation. So that's a gentleman that's carrying some momentum. So hopefully we're able to see that senior final here in a few minutes. And
Yeah, because it looks like Larry's up 13-0 now. But to get to this game, Larry had to take out Canadian pro Albert Parsons, 21-16.
I know we had a lot of people here commenting, hoping that Albert was able to work his way back deep into that seniors bracket, see if we were able to see some Canadian content here on the live stream.
But even really for Albert, 4th place here isn't too bad.
I'm guessing that we'll probably get another female game here before the senior final. Oh, there's not a female game to put here though. Juniors is done.
So we are back here now with the senior winners final championship game here. And I got Mike Ferrer sitting right across from me eating like a pizza or whatever it is now. I didn't have any breakfast, but Mike's just going to sit there and eat in front of me. So we've got Jay Dotson. Just needs to win one. Larry Luckenbill Jr. needs to double dip Jay.
So Jay played a game here earlier on the live stream when you were out gallivanting around doing your social piece, and he just literally just threw everything in the hole and said, beat me.
Yeah.
Also, great air mailer. Guy tried to throw a couple blocks, air mailed over top. It was a pretty short work in the King Seat game. So hopefully Larry can kind of force a little bit more pressure, a few more misses out of Jay here. But he seems pretty comfortable here on the broadcast court. He's been throwing here for probably the last 10 minutes or so. So he's going to be tough to dethrone here, I guess you might say.
I'm doing two down and backs here. I gotta say, I love watching Jay Dotson because he's one of the guys who likes to have fun on the boards. And I've said on the show many times that my one recollection is my first one I can remember, other than being absolutely destroyed by some people on the first night of my ACL in Cherokee, but just watching Jay Dotson, Sean Short, Trevor Brooks, Jamie Graham play a Crew Cup game against Cody Henderson, Ryan Windsor, Jordan Kamba, and Baldwin. And just, it was late on a Friday night. The alcohol had been flowing a little bit, and it was just a fun game.
So what Larry just showed Jay there and kind of his down and back is that he has all the tools.
Yep.
He threw a slide shot, he threw a block, he threw a roll, and then he threw an airmail collect. So hopefully Larry's able to kind of push Jay a little bit here and see that we can get a good quality seniors final here.
Yeah, Larry defeated Tony Pena 21-16 to get here.
So like we said before, this is a man that's carrying a little bit of momentum here. He's won 4 straight here coming through the losers bracket, and hoping to kind of push Jay to the limit.
Yep, I think we're going to go back one more time.
And hopefully it's entertaining enough for Mr. Ferrer and his pizza in the front row.
Exactly, yeah.
You want to push it?
Yep.
You want to stay and I want me to push it?
Okay, sure.
You want it further up?
Yeah, here. Looks like we were probably ready to spin that up and get this going here now.
So again, this is the senior final here. Jay needs to be double dipped.
So looking at who each guy went through, Jay got the bye, then he beat Jim Reed 21-0, beat Mike Footy 22-2, then Scott Burns 21-2, and then Tony Pena 23-11 to get here. Larry puts up a block. Didn't do much though. Puts up another one. Jay puts a nice block in behind them.
Tries to roll.
Almost rolled it over.
That'll be 2 points for Jay. Larry had the opportunity by making that roll to kind of put a lot of pressure on Jay, but to kind of escape there, giving up 2 points. So I think that's going to be a lot of what you see here in this game is Jay has a great slide game, great airmail game, whereas Larry's going to try and put some pressure on, throw a lot of blocks, see if he can make some rolls, and force kind of Jay to either push his bags in if he wants to score, or Jay's going to be tough to beat with first bag because it really puts a lot of pressure on Larry to throw the perfect block, and if he doesn't, then they essentially both got lane side blockers on each other here, so
And Larry goes through. Jay comes in through that side. Now, can Larry push his bag in the front in a bit?
I think that Jay's bag on the back of the hole probably prevents it.
Oh, just rolls over. Another 2, 10 on 8. Makes it up 4-0 Jay Dotson.
So what you saw there was Larry trying to grab his bag and give himself an opportunity to score, but got a little aggressive and ended up sliding over the hole and giving up 2. Good start by Jay again with first bag in the hole. Really puts the pressure on Larry to put that first bag in the...
Here, we're now joined by another pro here, Mr. Jimmy Humans.
How you doing?
Because they're getting some insight on that other pro, Jay Dotson, that's up here throwing now.
Yeah, I've been playing for a while. I came to watch Larry here. He's on our team's event. He's on our team. So, give him some support here. These guys faced off in their conference, actually. Jay Dotson shut him out. So he's already ahead of the game.
Yep. And Larry, we touched on Larry's on like a 4-game run here right now.
Yeah.
Larry's worked his way back through the losers bracket here, pretty early falling, and so he's had a lot of momentum coming into this game. But
He lost through in like a 10-5-5, which is insane.
Yeah. Those are short.
This is where the fatigue starts setting in after throwing so many rounds.
We have to wonder the fatigue of playing or the fatigue of Jay. Just kind of, we've seen him sitting here in the one of the front rows here. I would
say playing. Like going bag for bag takes a lot out of you. You know what I mean? And he's been doing that all day, throwing. I don't think he threw lower than a 10 any game. So long games really take it out.
Mm-hmm. So we were making the comment before, and I know now you see a guy who you've had to go against before, Mr. Mike Ferrer eating pizza in front of us here.
Yep.
Just baiting us all on.
We call him the Southern Jimmy Humans. Apparently he looks like that.
I'm sure there'll be some memes on that one now.
As long as the meme with me holding the sign is done, I'm good with that. Roll back.
Yep, good clock by Jay.
Just kind of bleeding him at this point in time. 2 points, 2 points. Slide games just kind of... You see Larry trying to put a little bit of pressure on because he does have that roll bag that
Forgot to move it.
that Jay doesn't necessarily have, but one miss and all of a sudden...
Yeah. See that With players throwing rollbacks, though, they get a lot of. I feel like they throw the wrong shot a lot. Like, I think he should have blocked behind there, and then he still had the chance to roll over for the wash if Jay hit the shot. That's my opinion. The bag was a little too close to the hole to just roll over clean.
Mm-hmm.
So do you feel players with the roll bag sometimes play the roll one shot too early, and rather than leaving it for potentially their last bag?
Well, it's not too early. They just want to go in.
Right.
So most players that run bags and have a roll shot, all they want to do is go in. So they're just trying to roll over a short block rather than blocking behind. Where Jay doesn't have a roll bag, so he has to airmail.
Right.
Boards are really fast today. I didn't get a chance to throw yet.
They'll play fast in this building, but having played here, the fact they'll change drastically throughout the weekend because these two rooms affect what's going on in this room too. Because if it gets filled up in the entire building, they go slow. But I'm surprised that they're playing as fast today as they have, just because with both sides being full right now. I know that there's a Muay Thai competition or something going on over here and a dance competition in the next one. Both rooms are full. But, and a rainy day here, I would have expected to potentially be a little bit humid in here, but it's not.
Now, I have heard that boards in the back of the room now are starting to slow up a bit.
So I think what ends up happening at the back of the room, there's actually a gap between the door, so that it's open to the two sides at the back. So they would probably be the first ones affected as kind of. I think the other thing is that they all play pretty new because we really only use them for Canadian Open and for our 3 conference events. So this might be the 6th time that these boards have been out since the last Open.
Possibly, yeah.
So our conference event this year, the Open last year, our top 100. So they don't get out too often. So there's not a lot of wear in them either. So might make a huge difference.
And Larry's first bag just off the left there.
See, like right here would be a good time to block behind. But he tries to roll, but it ended up pushing Jay's back close to the hole for an easy push. So now you're guaranteed to give up 2. Best case. But if he lays behind, Jay has to hit 3 air miles to give up 2.
And you've got the safety of a roll that's going to stay on the board.
Exactly.
Seeing that Anthony Ione is watching, so I'm guessing he's loving this bag talk.
For sure. Anthony knows what we're talking about. Larry ended up sneaking 1 out of that though. That was either the first or second airmail Jay had to throw, and he missed it. When you get to this level and people are throwing really fast bags and fast boards, it's easy to slide them in, relatively speaking, where you got to make him choose something different. He's been sliding all day, no problem, nobody's blocking him. You know what I mean? So you got to make him shoot a different shot.
He's had some blowout wins too, right? So all he's needed was a slide game all day. So
See, like now this situation here is going to benefit Larry. Because now he can push through. He's probably going to get 2, maybe more, and as long as he doesn't punch.
And Larry calls his timeout.
I like this.
Anthony Ione says, "Yes, sir. He hears you, Doug. He heard your call out."
Oh, and look to see who goes to the final here, or no, sorry, to play in the loser bracket final against Maddie McBride is Tiffany Fincham's up 18-17 on Miranda Coy.
Yeah, so I like the timeout there. It takes a break in the game, gives Larry to regroup, hit a different shot. He rolls there, that's perfect.
Yep.
They all went. Finishing up, we'll get 2 here. I don't see Jay getting that back. That was the difference between blocking behind and rolling his first bag.
Yeah.
That time he blocked behind and it worked out.
Picks up 2. That tie the game at 7.
I'm going to go practice.
Okay. I'm guessing we'll be seeing more of Jimmy later on
Sure
tonight.
that our bracket or our live stream will see Jimmy Humans at some point in time. I
Ooh,
missed
Larry
the ball.
off to the left. Sorry, to the right. Jay bounces in off that. Larry's in. Jay will follow him. Jay's in to pick up 2. 9-7.
This becomes the hard spot again for Larry. Now he's got to generate pressure and try and find 2 points against the guy that you can almost assume that the first bag's going in the hole here.
Yeah. Did Larry with his first bag. Puts a blocker up. Jay over the top.
Tries to cut it around and leaves it.
Another airmail from Jay. Roll bag from Larry. Jay goes up, hits his third one. Oh,
Kind of bunches up and
12 on 6. Seeing some emotion out of Jay here now.
it's kind of the turn of the tides, though, as Jimmy was saying, that Jay's kind of had just been able to kind of cruise through with a good slide game here through the bracket. But to hit 3 back-to-back airmails when you're kind of blocked out and then get 6 points out of it is kind of an emotion-filled round for you.
For sure. I'm talking about emotion-filled round. And Miranda Coy is now up 20-18 on Tiffany Fincham. Probably see the winner of that game play, Maddie McBride, right on this court. Coming up next. Jay checking out the score.
I think Jay just probably pushes through everything here. Or he airmails and says, I'm feeling it right now.
Yep.
Asking the crowd. He's asking the crowd what the crowd should do.
Hey. Jay trying to get the crowd pumped up, but it's just, I don't want to say this is the quintessential Canadian crowd, but they're all just kind of sitting on their hands.
What do you do here if you're already 7 to his 3, but he's got the whole kind of They're going to go down and take a look because Jay's going to look at what kind of opportunity that Larry's going to have if he just tosses it on the board here and if he can get points out of this at the end of the round. I don't think that Jay's feeling also great, even though he made that big airmail at this point in time, that he's not going to end up potentially giving up points here.
I don't think so, no.
Well, he throws it on the board, and there's the potential of 3 of those bags going in, depending on how they get hit here.
So Austin, Larry has to double dip Jay here. Jay came in on the king seat. Larry has to double dip.
Tosses it on.
I don't think he wanted it out that far. Oh, Larry's off the board. 8 on 3. Now leaves Jay 1 point away from taking the senior singles title.
Jay Dotson still having fun with it.
Not sure if Larry's having a lot of fun with it, but
I don't know that Larry's going to feel great. That's the one you look back at, even regardless of what the result of this game is, and that you just wish that you had that one back.
yeah. And here, I think. Oh, well, I was going to say Larry's just looking for a miss. And that's what he just got. That was Jay trying to go over the top here. He's up in front. 7 on 5. 7 on 5.
7-5, yeah.
Yeah, 7-5.
I think you got to see him shoot it here.
I think he has to go for it.
There's your
7-6, that's
your senior singles champion.
senior singles champion Jay Dotson. So looking at them, Miranda Coy, Tiffany Fincham game is, I'm still showing 20 to 18. So we will be right back, hopefully with that play-in game for the women's final.
You yourself. mute you.
Okay, and we are back live here now. These keep just going down and back here. So, Taka J. Dotson, that's his win in his first ever seniors competition. Or his first seniors win. So the winner this year will go on to play Bella Soprenin. BG versus Lucky Bags here. Maddie will have first bag. Nice first bag. Up and in.
So we saw Maddie here in between games after losing the Queen Seat game, testing out some different bags, potentially trying for a bag change, see if she could find something. But it seems like she's gone back to the BG Sorcerers here. So she just probably couldn't find anything that felt any more comfortable on the boards here, but hopefully she's able to kind of find her way.
Miranda goes in. So Miranda picks up 2, 10 on 8. Talking to Miranda here before this morning here at the hotel, and just kind of learning that she can understand French, she just can't speak it. So if she has to play any of the Quebec teams later on tonight, she will be able to listen on any conversations they have.
So Maddie kind of brought Miranda's bag kind of back towards the hole, but Miranda slides by it. But she has an opportunity here to at least get back to an 8. Just kind of hangs up though.
And we're now joined by the guy who was taunting us with his pizza on the other side there.
Was the pizza good?
Oh yeah, it was actually really good. I ate the whole thing.
There's a pizza place across the street while you're here. Definitely worth the trip too. Zappi's is right across or right down the street from here. It's an Italian restaurant. Pizza is substantially quality to find, so definitely hit up a lot of the Canadians here for the Niagara Falls tips on where to go for food.
I know that Mike will be going to a Chuck's.
Yeah.
I know that for sure.
Yeah. We got last time I was here, we all went to Chuck's. That was 3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I would say 2019 then, because you were here, so it was almost 4. Yeah. Here now 4-2 for Maddie McBride. I was thinking here now. Looks like our camera got moved there, but you get play against both these players here in Florida, at least for your bigger tournaments.
Yeah, I just played Miranda at the last regional. She was on fire then. I think she got second singles and doubles, but man, she was throwing well, really well.
So Jimmy had mentioned it on the while he was here that I think we're going to start seeing some new memes because he's like, you are the Southern Jimmy Humans because you guys kind of look alike.
Oh yeah. We're thinking of having the Jimmy Humans Classic. We got to find someone from the north. Obviously, we got Jimmy. South is me. East and West now, and then Central. We'll have the Jimmy Egan's Classic.
Brandon picks up 2, and it's now 4-4. Yes. Bella's waiting the winner of these two.
She played really well against Maddie in the Queen Seat game. Maddie threw here for a couple minutes afterwards just trying to find it because Bella didn't miss the first bag block the entire game.
Are they playing stickier here, or?
The word is that they're playing really fast, and that doesn't surprise me, but I think the more people that get in here, the slower it's going to get. This building in the past has played where the longer the weekend goes, the slower the boards are going to get. So I was saying earlier that the boards are affected also by how full the building is, not in just our room, but if there's people on both sides in the rooms beside us. But the other factor is that these boards don't get used a whole lot. So we got these boards for the Open last year, and I bet you they've only been used 5-6 times since. So they are still pretty fresh in terms of being able to be used.
So 6 on 5 there. Miranda picks up 1 point, take the lead 5-4 on Maddie.
I expected the boards to play a little slow today with the rain and everything outside. This is probably our first warm day that we've had since the weather's kind of turned. So
I was gonna say 44 degrees. I remember when that was warm.
Maddie with a chance to pick up some points here.
Oh, what a shot.
And she does.
Yeah, no, I'm from Florida, so it's 80 something there right now.
did you bring it away in a jacket?
No, this is all I
That's
got.
all you got.
Yeah, that's all I got.
Lucky for you, I hear it's not going too cold while you're here. So
I mean, I'm used to it for the most part. I grew up in Massachusetts, so I just gotta relive that time.
Brand up and in. Maddie following her.
close block.
That change of momentum might have worked.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
Is it going?
Like, Miranda's like, hey, I can do it too.
Yeah. Start swap up, yeah. And Miranda going in for no.
She gets the miss back.
Maddie limits the damage there.
So with this second Canadian Open, who do you got? Who are you feeling right now? I know was the Ryan Smith is now coming in here, so like that's another big entry coming in. I don't know who he's playing with, but
He's playing with Fincham.
With Jamie Fincham.
Oh, I thought Jamie was playing with Tiffany.
Yeah, that's now changed there. Yep.
Oh, so who's Tiffany? Or is Tiffany not?
I don't think she's
I
playing.
think she may have just got out of doubles, and I believe. I'm not sure.
Unless they find her somebody here that was looking for a partner, they might.
Definitely someone.
Yeah.
And that's a big change right there.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, Tiffany's very good too.
She played really well in the women's today, so.
She just got knocked out right to Miranda.
Yep. But will we see the Ryan Smith that just played against Devin Harbaugh?
You know, I was gonna say he's one of the most consistent players, but you don't know if you're gonna get the 11 or you're gonna get because that game, when you go back and watch, it was a lot of just bag for bag kind of action. You see normal Ryan Smith. I say normal as if he can't do that all the time. But he always tries to do a little bit of the rolling game, you know, muddy up the board. So it was interesting to could really see him kind of switch it up right there.
Maddie just misses with her first bag. Miranda follows her.
I mean, it would make for good television to have a good North and South Jimmy Humans matchup some point in time deep into that bracket.
That would be nice.
Big bag by Maddie.
Hopefully we're on separate sides. That would be even better. But I know he's playing with Storm.
Oh,
He is playing with Storm,
nice
so.
bag by Maddie there.
Big push. Big push.
Clutch 10-10.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Storm's partner, Matt. You know, I feel like he would be coming here, but we all know. Have you guys heard of the whole thing? Well, unfortunately, his house actually burned down.
Actually, you know what? I think I may have kind of heard that.
Yeah, there's a GoFundMe, you know. And he's doing really well, so hopefully everyone continue helping out, you know.
Brandon misses with that bag. Maddie pushes her in.
See a slip around here. That works just as well. She has to go for an air mail or a big cleanup.
Yeah, she can't have Maddie's bag in at all. Oh! Wow.
You know, for how fast they say the boards are, man, they are sticking around the hole right now.
What I'll be curious about is the people, if there's an advantage to the people that are coming back here to Canada that were here at the Open last year. Just a comfort factor to that, plus the fact of all of the fanfare of everybody kind of already knows those people. Is there going to be able to generate any momentum from that, or is there going to become distractions with that, with people already being Canadian fan favorites? There's a lot of factors that kind of play into that piece as well. I know Jordan, he kind of generated a lot of fanfare up here and generated quite the following after his Open performances that he had here last year. So I know that he will probably have a following wherever he kind of goes here, but that also comes with distractions too, right? So
yeah, that was a uncharacteristic miss right there.
Yes.
From, Miranda. After the big airmail she hit.
Yeah. But I've noticed that just walking this morning that the pros that people know that were here last year, people really gravitated to them and kind of, you know, they've been ready to go in and just kind of warm up on some boards, but people are just going and kind of grabbing them with that, you know, that starstruck.
I've already had a couple of Canadian players come up and challenge.
Yeah.
I had that conversation with Danny last night. He played at Garden City with us, and I said, like, it'll be a hard Open from the factor of that the Canadians just are also so ingrained to try and connect with some of these pros because it's some of their first opportunities to do that. And so you might be thrown out of some of your rhythms and your routines and things that, because he's such a great ambassador to the game as well, right? That he's going to want to help people and do those kind of things, but he also needs to focus on himself and doing well. That kind of throws a different dynamic into this Open that you might not see necessarily in some of those American Opens that see these pros on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You know, I also forget how many players are really up here. You know, I hear on a night you can get 60 plus people. That's incredible, really. And I can already tell that from the last time I came here, which was.
Well, I was gonna say that the last time you were here, we probably only had about maybe 30 people at that tournament that you were here.
Yeah. So just hearing how big it's actually grown is incredible to hear, really. And talent-wise too, you know, everyone's been getting better. So it's really awesome.
Well, I always talk about like the growth in our conference. I played in the first conference that we had here a year and a half ago, and there was about 65 unique players at that event. That same event 1 year later had almost 300. So like we're seeing that growth in the number of players, we're seeing that growth in the number of leagues, but it's also translating into that talent moving as well. That group of like the numbers that you used to be able to get away with here a year and a half ago are very, very different than what you could get away with at that top end. And I know some of your top players, your Brandon Browns, and can speak to that, of the fact that you used to be able to win tournaments here with a 7.5 average. Well, that's not even letting you hang around here in events anymore.
Yeah.
And so, like, that's really the growth that we're seeing. And I know Brandon says it on a regular basis that we're coming for the United States. Well, the numbers are starting to be able to start to kind of translate in that respect. So
I can remember winning doubles tournaments with like a 4 or 5 PPR, but those days are all beyond me now.
And another bag was sticking on the edge of the hole.
The Sorceress, she struggled with that when she played with Bella, or played against Bella as well, and I think that's kind of what she was looking for, was something that just would slide in, and she didn't kind of pull the trigger, and it might be something that she looks back on and regrets maybe after this one, because that's 2 or 3 now that she's kind of got stuck with that are kind of hanging on the back of the hole.
I was going to say maybe go to, I don't think they even make the dart slides, you know, if you want a faster bag. What else? Samurais, I'm pretty sure, are faster.
Shapeshifter, I think, is the
That's
fast.
the one I'm looking for, Shapeshifter. Oh, this could be game. Maddie goes in. And
Which is in. Well, in that game, it's Maddie seemed to do better going right to left, and then she would give points up going left to right.
Yeah, you know, it seemed like she had a lot of difficulty with the bags hanging, like you said, coming left to right. You know, against, I was going to say, obviously against Miranda, you can't do that, but against Bella, you know, she has that roll bag, so if you're slightly off, she's just going to go around.
I want to go fix that one.
Well, where Maddie got in a whole lot of trouble against Bella is that first bag block, and she was really reluctant to move it. She didn't push it in, she didn't try and play through it, and she just kept kind of spinning off and kind of hanging on the hole, but it never ever really went.
Yeah.
And so we'll see if she kind of changes up the tactics here. You're good.
Yeah, you know, and this may be a minor thing, but, you know, finally going on the main broadcast, Maddie coming off the win, I think she's going to be more prepared, I should say. You know, she knows what she needs to do, and now she's just ripping airmails in practice. You know?
Well, I heard her say to somebody that if she was going to beat Bella today, she was going to have to make more airmails, because the board just got clunky and Bella rolled, and Maddie just didn't make any airmails to kind of back it up, right? So
Yeah.
if she can airmail as much as Bella makes the roll, then she can hang around here.
And I will say that's where Bella really has the advantage, you know. If you're able to perfect the roll shot, it is a lot safer of an option as well, because most of the time, yeah, you may not go in, but you're going to be on the board. You
Right.
know, you're minimizing no matter what.
Or you end up blocking in front of the bag that you were trying to push. If it's the other person's bag, it's a safe shot, right? So.
Yeah, so it definitely is a very good skill to have. All right, I
Oh,
guess that's
that
the
camera's-
spot ready. They don't like the camera.
You're going to have to spin it towards Maddie. You're going to have to spin it towards Maddie out. And then tilt it out. Out, other way. So we are started here and we are live. So as kind of expected, Bella threw the first bag, hanging on the hole.
Ooh.
Bella with a 4 spot, it looks like. 6, it hopped right over the hole. That's always a rough start, you know. Don't want to give up the first big one, but it's cornhole, anything can happen.
Well, it's just almost like the last game, because I think Bella put up a 5 the last game against Maddie, the first end. Bella in the hole. Maddie missed.
I think it's a mental thing at some point, you know, thinking you have to beat her twice, and you know it's going to be a tough game.
And especially, the last game, Bella kind of beat her up in that game. So it's, it's that whole mental side that is really frustrating.
I was gonna say they both have the skill for sure.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of keeping everything in check. And right now, Bella's doing a really great job at that.
So it's one of those situations mentally now where Maddie needs to figure out where she wants to apply pressure and where she just kind of wants to hang around here. And I think that you kind of said that she threw really, really well throwing arm out coming back to our left. If she has the ability just to kind of hang around here and even get washes throwing inside arm here, then she might be able to kind of generate some pressure here.
Yeah. And right now, the way the bags are, she's going to have to play Bella's game with the roll right now. Obviously, it's not a game you want to go against Bella doing, but...
Oh, she skipped. In for points.
No. Fuck.
See, on that one where she went airmail right away, I think it would have been a smarter shot to block it right there to make her hit a tough roll over 3 bags, or hit the airmail if she does. You know, you have the option. You can still shoot it for points or just play it safe for the wash.
So I think Bella's also got the advantage here, knowing and having sat here and watched Mai throw the last game, she's not throwing the block against her when she's on inside arm right now. She's only throwing the block when Bella's on her outside arm. So she might have just saw Maddie throw really well outside arm and kind of playing that mental game as well and saying, I want to get my points when you're inside arm because that's where you're struggling.
It looks like that's another 2 points for Bella.
I'd say that the chat is definitely more Maddie than Bella.
You know, I don't want to say it. You know, Maddie was probably considered the underdog, but
Yep.
anyone who has watched, you know, a lot of these women's tournaments and a lot of tournaments in general will know that Maddie is no amateur. Obviously.
No.
She is a very, very skilled player.
Great replace.
Yep. Here, Maddie got a chance to get some big points back on the board and does it 12 on 8.
I was going to say, you just look at their faces, it seems like there's just no emotion there.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, I'm down 13, no problem. You know,
Yeah.
let's work our way back. I've seen grown adults with a worse poker face.
Yeah, if I'm usually down by that, I'm walking out the door.
You've already packed your Zupa.
I already know that I'm done. There,
Another chance.
Bella opens the door again.
And you know, she did score on the weaker side for her, so this is where she was really making her.
There it is.
Oh.
12 on 10. And you could almost see when that last bag went in on Maddie, there was like a sense of relief on her face.
Yeah.
That maybe it's that, you know, that relief, but then also the confidence building as well.
Yeah, get off 0, you know.
Yeah.
Zero's the hardest one to get off of when your opponent put up 6 in the first round.
Well, you know what? And she's almost cut it back to half.
Oh, and here's another shot. Great shot.
There. Okay, one of Bella's dropped there.
So you're starting to see a little emotion out of Bella here. She's throwing her arms up there,
Getting that little-
not understanding why her bag didn't go in.
Another 12 on 10.
Another 2. You see, Maddie is inching her way back into this. It is not over.
I think it could be some of the pressure on Bella too, knowing that she's won almost every game every tournament coming in that she's in, that she wins. That, you know, there's just that, you know, like why isn't this happening now?
Yeah, you know, I think everyone right as you say that there's a little missing a roll problem.
And
For it, it stopped. But yeah, you know, I feel like with Bella, she knows that anything can happen in this game, and she's facing a really good opponent as well. So I wouldn't say she's too worried about that. She just is focused on her game and what she's able to do. And I think that's another point. Actually.
point, 9-8.
They score 13-9 now.
But this will be her biggest challenge if she can stop the bleeding.
And it's really going to take one big shot on her part, whether it be a block and then making a big roll off, forcing a little bit of pressure here, because right now Maddie's just hole for hole has been pretty strong.
Oh, you can just see the confidence, even the little fist pump after by Maddie there too.
That was a great push right there by All right, we're starting to see some fire.
Oh, and a miss.
Oh,
And there's another two.
Another two.
13-11 now.
Might as well look at the.
You go ahead. Yeah.
All right, yeah, pretty close one. Bella with a 9.44 right now, and Maddie with a 9.22. And, you know, considering a lot of them have been blocks or like attempted blocks, that's a really high average for this
Yep.
team right now.
Maddie puts her first bag in. You can see the confidence in Maddie here now. And a miss.
More chance for tying it up unless she hits it here now. I think she'll just slide it in. And she does.
And then we got tie game.
But you see that momentum. You saw when Bella missed that bag. She throws her next one up in the air. She's flustered at this point in time, and it's all just the pressure that Maddie's putting on by throwing the first bag in the hole.
Yep.
One thing I love about this is that there is a huge crowd here.
Yeah.
I know, like the
Oh,
cameras, you can only see part of it.
there's a miss by Maddie to start it off.
And even the crowd is just quiet. They're like,
Yep.
they don't want to interrupt anything right now.
So do
Going
you put
another
pressure on at this point in time and throw a block?
Honestly, I would just worry about stopping the bleeding right now. You know, you at least guarantee that you're going to get one. Yeah, so now a lot less pressure on this shot. Yeah, when you set the block, if you haven't been hitting all your pushes and everything, don't risk it. Get the four, move on. Now you have another round like that, you win.
You win.
Yep. 17-13 now. Bella's first bag in.
For that, it's slightly off. That was a great cut shot.
Yeah. Another miss.
Giving it right back. I want
Oh.
to give it back. We see a reverse cut? No.
No.
Is it?
That's a tough cut for her with these roll baggers
Yeah.
to pull that.
I just really want to see it.
I think, we've only gone 11 rounds, but it feels like more.
Yeah, I mean, early on, Isabella was doing her big run, and then the second 5 rounds was.
Oh.
Oh, you can see Matt taking a quick step back.
Yep.
I think everyone's wondering what happened right there. That was a good reset by Matt.
Oh.
5.
This could be more.
5.
There it is.
Wow, and now we got a lead change. I
Lead
think
change.
The first one of the game.
Since the start of the game.
Yeah, 18-17.
And, who would have... There's going to be people out there, who would have thought we've seen this lead change now with it being 13-0 at one point?
I know. That just shows the composure that they have playing,
Well, you can see it there with the lead change. Well, of course, it's the lead change, but, Maddie's now 9.62 to Bella's 9.54. Bella puts that one in front. Maddie drags her in. Maddie's in.
One thing that Maddie has going for her, especially now, is that for her it's a one-bad game. You know, if she misses one off, where Maddie still has a little bit of a buffer. You know, she can still have one okay round and be okay.
The big difference that I've seen this game compared to the Queensea game is that Maddie stopped trying to block behind Bella's first bag block. That she's just saying, all right, beat me to, like, she would have blocked behind this in that game like this.
I mean, you can't roll over something that's not there. So
Yeah.
see that right there, she went back to the block. And
Oh.
this is what I was talking about. She has that leeway right now. And if she just goes in, it's still okay. It'll be 20 to 18. She leaves it. Great shot by Bella. And another lead change. Both of them averaging close to a 10 right now.
Yeah. They're both their bags in average in is like exactly the same.
Yep. It's all come down to the ones that are just slightly off, you know. I think Bella went for a block right there.
Yeah, that kind of looked weird as it landed.
Oh, and that was a clutch bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be shocked if I don't see a block here from Bella soon, you know.
Change the pace.
Yeah, change it up a little.
Well, especially when she was so successful with it the last time.
That's how she got the big three, you know, that rollover shot that led to Maddie just touch hard on the push. There it is.
Oh. Oh.
And she gets the miss. Oh, that's game. She goes in right now. And
Yep.
that's going to do it right here. Congratulations, Bella.
Yep. You can see actually. Oh! What a shot!
Oh my God! Add insult to injury. That was wrong. Oh my goodness. That was unnecessary. Oh my God. God damn.
So that will be it for our morning coverage here. We'll be back. We'll be doing swap here this afternoon. We're not going to be having any coverage of that. Come back tonight for our teams event here on the ACL Canada Facebook page, ACL Cornhole TV, and the ACL YouTube page.